All right, everybody. Just getting the live streams going here. Hey, Angel. Welcome to the live stream. We're just getting started here. Getting the live streams going. All right. It looks like we're live. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Just check the YouTube stream. We're going to start in a couple minutes. Give everybody a chance to join here. In the meantime, hit that like button. Let's see if we get some more people here. There we go. All right, cool. 5:45. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Scam Awareness live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. We do this live stream every week to try and spread awareness of common scams. That's actually the mission of Scamware 101. We spread awareness of scams that target individuals. So we're talking about scams that target you, your loved ones, your friends, your family. We focus solely on scams that target individuals. Because, there's plenty of resources out there for businesses and employees, but there's not many resources out there for the regular people, right? So who's looking out for grandma, getting the grandparent scams and losing their retirement savings, right? So extremely important to be scam aware and to know what kind of scams are circulating, the latest trends, what to be aware of. So we're gonna get started in about 4 minutes. But in the meantime, say hi in the chat. Let me know you're here. Hit that like button. Let's see if we get some more people in here. We usually stream for at least 3 hours. We'll see how long we go tonight. We usually go between 3 or 4 hours. And we'll talk about email scams, phone call scams, text message scams, even traditional mail scams. So say hi in the chat, participate. Let me know you're watching. I see Angel's talking on Instagram here. Let's see. Got an email from a scam account pretending to be Social Security. That's one of the scams we're going to talk about this evening, actually. Telling me I should download something to my laptop to protect me from scams. The giveaway was they used the word mobile incorrectly. Yep, when there's incorrect spellings or grammar, that's always a little red flag. That's not a legit text message or an email. But because of AI, we're going to be seeing that less and less. It's going to be harder and harder to recognize these scams. So, but yeah, a little later in the live stream, when we're sharing some examples of scams, one of the examples we share is a Social Security scam where the email, it says it's a statement from Social Security, and then it has a link to download it. But it's a scam. You click that link, you'll get malware. So yeah, government impersonation is a big problem. All right, but we'll get started about 3 minutes here. And we're going to start out with the Scam Awareness Fundamentals presentation that I put together. It's actually a preview of a course that we're going to be releasing soon. So you guys are getting a sneak peek of the Scam Awareness Fundamentals course that's going to be coming out in a week or so. Hit that thumbs up, say hi in the chat, let me know you're watching. I'm mainly monitoring the YouTube chats, so I'll reply the quickest to people that are typing into YouTube chat, but I'm also checking the Instagram one too, a little bit. But it might be a little slower to respond to the Instagram one. All right, get started in about 2 minutes. You're under 2 minutes. 2-minute warning, people. Fill up your Scamware 101 coffee travel mug. Let's get caffeinated. Lots of good stuff coming up this evening. Make sure to hit that like button. Say hi in the chat. Let's see if we get some more people in here in the live stream. The more the merrier, you know? It's always more fun when there's more people here interacting and sharing their experiences and their stories. Yeah, if you haven't seen our YouTube channel yet, definitely check out our YouTube channel. And subscribe. We need the subscribers. But we release scam awareness videos too on our YouTube channel. We just had our first video hit 100K views the other day, or last week, which was amazing. So that was pretty cool. And we also have a free mailing list too on scamaware101.com. So you sign up for the free mailing list and make sure to be the first to know about new content and scam awareness tips. Get started momentarily here. Usually get started at 5:50 usually. Hey Sny, welcome to the Instagram live stream. Got here just in time. We're gonna be starting in about 1 minute. Let's hit that thumbs up button, that like button. Let's get some more people in here. This is great though. Got some people on the Instagram feed, which usually there's nobody in the Instagram feed. So welcome. Good to see you. And it's 5:50. So you know what? Let's kick this off. Welcome everybody. I'm Jared with Scamaware 101. And our mission here at Scamaware 101 is to spread awareness of common scams that target individuals just like you, like me, your friends, your family, your loved ones, right? It's important to be aware of these scams because nowadays these scammers, they're not just trying to get a quick $100. They're trying to take your entire life savings. They'll take your retirement fund, your savings account, your checkings account. They'll clear them all out. They don't stop until they get everything from you. It's pretty ruthless. And there's some pretty bad horror stories out there about seniors losing their life savings or retirement funds. You know, people living on a fixed income and losing whatever they have to these scammers. And the scammers don't care. You know, they'll take it from everybody. A lot of time you hear about veterans that get scammed. They don't care. They'll scam veterans. You know, older folks that are retired, they don't care. They'll scam them too. There's no limit to who these scammers will target. And what's interesting is it's not just the older folks that are getting targeted and falling for these scams. The FTC released their annual report about fraud and scams earlier this year, and it actually revealed that younger folks, you know, middle-aged folks, are falling for more scams. It's just the older folks lose more money because they have more to lose. But the younger folks are actually falling for more scams. So, you know, it's only a matter of time till those younger folks are older, and they're going to be losing a lot more because they're falling for those scams. So scam awareness is critical for everybody, and it's important to be aware of. But anyway, our mission is to spread awareness about these scams. And one of the ways we do that, besides releasing videos on YouTube and our social media content, is this weekly live stream. We try to do this weekly live stream every Thursday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern. And we'll share real examples of common scams. We'll go over red flags to help you identify and prevent these scams. And everything you need to really protect yourself. So with that said, we're going to get started here. And we're going to start out with a brand new presentation. You guys are going to sneak peek of a Scam Awareness Fundamentals course. It's going to be released soon. So, let me go bring up the slides here. There we go. And before we get into this, you can visit our website, scamaware101.com, and join our free mailing list. And we'll send you updates. We'll let you know when the course is released, and we'll let you know about the other free content that we release as well. So make sure to visit Scamaware101 and hit join mailing list. And again, you can unsubscribe at any time. And also follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, Threads, all the big ones, except TikTok. TikTok banned us, but that's a separate story. So, and you know, if you want to help out financially too, we got that donate QR code up on the screen. You scan the donate QR code or go to scamaware101.com/donate. And we also have the super thanks enabled and memberships enabled as well on YouTube. So if you want to help us out financially, we'll take it. Send us a couple bucks with the super thanks, join the memberships, and we'll go right back into spreading awareness about these scams. So, with all that said, again, say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Let's see if we get some more people in here. get some engagement going. And let's start with this presentation, which is actually Module 1 of our Scam Awareness Fundamentals course. And this whole module, it focuses on how scams start. And the reason why it's so important to be aware of how scams start is because being able to recognize a scam before it proceeds is your first line of defense. You know, ideally, you want to be able to recognize these scams before sending any money, before engaging with the scammer, before talking with them or replying to them. You want to be able to recognize right away, as soon as this notification comes in, whether it's an email or a text, regardless of who they say it is, whether they say it's Social Security or the IRS, you want to be able to recognize right away that it's a scam and delete it. Right? You don't even want to reply. You don't want to give any signs to the scammer that you're an active phone number or that you saw what they sent you. Right? You just want to be able to recognize it right up front, delete it, ignore it, and boom, you stop the scam before it even started. And being aware of how scams start is the only way you're going to be able to do that, right? So we have this presentation here, and the idea is to teach you all about how scams start, including how scammers reach new victims, right? The common starting points that scammers initiate their scams through. We're going to show you how they deceive their victims, basically through impersonations. Scammers will impersonate anybody. They'll impersonate trusted figures. And we're going to actually expose over 30 different types of impersonation scams that they use to deceive new victims. And we're going to show you how they trap new victims. So scammers trap new victims using malicious links and other clever tricks. Right? So it's important to be aware of what not to do when it comes to scams. Like not to click on links, not to scan QR codes, right? Not to trust too good to be true offers. All right, you get what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to focus on for this module here. And after this, we'll go into some actual scam examples. We'll bring up text messages, emails. We'll play some phone call recordings for you. All good stuff coming up here on this live stream. So say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. You know, you guys fuel me. The more engagement I see, the more activity I see in the chat, the more hyped I'll get, and the more fun we'll have. So I encourage you to say hi, hit the thumbs up, let me know you're watching, give me some reactions, hit the heart and the emoticons up there, and show me you care, because this stuff's important. We're trying to put something good out there. We're trying to put something good out there that helps everybody, that everybody could benefit off of. So before we dive into the key starting points, let's talk about some key concepts about how scams start. And it's important to realize these key concepts to fully protect yourself. And the first one is regarding unsolicited communication. That's when somebody reaches out to you unexpectedly. You don't know who they are, and you get a random letter or a random phone call from someone you don't know. Or it could even be an agency or someone you do know that you weren't expecting a communication from. Because scammers, again, they impersonate friends, families. All right. So as far as unsolicited communications go, the number one rule and key concept to always keep in mind is assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer, right? No contact method is safe from scammers. They will use every form of communication available to reach new victims. You must always assume all unsolicited communication is a scam until verified through official channels. And we're going to dive into that a lot more in this presentation. So you're going to hear me repeating a lot of these concepts, but that's on purpose. We want these concepts to really sink in and to realize. And then there's convincing impersonations, right? These scammers, they will impersonate anyone, and they do it convincingly. They will impersonate your family members. I'll show you the example of a grandparent scam tonight where they impersonate a grandchild that's been arrested, because scammers will do it. So to demonstrate how far scammers go, we mentioned over 30 impersonation scams that they use to deceive their victims. And keep in mind, using AI, scammers can make their scams and impersonations even more believable. They could clone voices. They're doing face swaps now on video calls. It's wild. So you always have to verify who you were talking to through official channels. All right. And we're going to mention caller ID a lot, how you can't trust caller ID. So even if somebody's calling you and the caller ID shows the number, like somebody calls you claiming they're from the bank, and your caller ID shows the bank's phone number, it means nothing. That doesn't mean you could trust it. Scammers are actively manipulating the caller ID. So that's important to keep in mind. Hey, Dave, welcome. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the live stream. Always happy to see you here. We're going through a sneak peek at our scam awareness fundamentals course that's coming up soon. I was actually telling you about that one. But yeah, and the last key concept here is awareness of dangerous actions, right? And I mentioned this briefly already, but knowing what not to do is how you avoid the traps set by scammers, right? Because scammers rely on people making quick mistakes like clicking on a suspicious link, trusting an unknown caller, or sharing personal information without thinking, right? By clearly understanding the actions you should avoid, you reduce the chances of falling into their traps, right? So we got to keep those three key concepts in mind. We're going to repeat them over and over again throughout this presentation, right? Assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer, right? Scammers impersonate anyone. They do it convincingly. And know what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. Right? You with me? Let me know you're with me. Say something in the chat. Give me a comment. Hit that heart. Give me a reaction. Let me know that you're with me and you're here and watching. I see some people watching on the Facebook counter, so hop on into the chat. Say hi. Let me know you're watching. Let me know you're with me. Same on Instagram. So some key concepts. Next. So regarding how scams start, we're going to focus on some common methods. We're actually going to focus on 6 common methods. Now again, scammers will use all kinds of contact methods to reach new victims, right? So just because we're not mentioning it here doesn't mean it's safe. You have to assume that every unsolicited communication from a scammer could be from a scammer, regardless of whether it's an email, phone call, text message. All right, and those are some of the specific types of common starting points that we're going to start about today. We're going to talk about email scams, commonly known as phishing. We're going to talk about phone call and voice scams. We're going to talk about text message scams. I'm sure you've gotten some text message scams recently. We're going to talk about common internet and website scams, like fake virus alerts and harmful ads. We're also going to talk about snail mail scams. That's traditional mail, snail mail, right? Because scammers are still using snail mail. And then we're also going to talk about QR code scams as well, because we're seeing a lot of those lately too. So those are 6 common methods that we're going to talk about during this presentation. And again, as we go through these, share your experiences with us in the various chats we have going here. I want to hear where you're being targeted. Have you been getting phone calls and text messages? Which ones? Because there's scam trends. There's certain times of the year that certain scams pick up and slow down. We'll talk about that more as we get deeper into the live stream. And by the way, it's a great time to share this live stream and repost it. We've got so much good stuff coming up, so it's still a good time for your friends and loved ones to join. So let's get some more people up in here. So let's talk about our first common scam starting point. Email, right? How many times do you get email scams, fake emails? Email scams, often called phishing scams, they're one of the most common ways that scammers trick people online. These scams usually arrive in the forms of an email that looks legitimate, and the goal is to create a sense of urgency or trust so that the victim takes quick action without thinking too much. Right? And these emails, they'll be very convincing. Very convincing. Did you know that scammers, they use automation to send out millions of scam emails per day? Right? Sending out millions of emails is nothing for these guys. They have the technology. It's no big deal. They could send out emails all day and all night. And that's what they do, which is why we get so many scam emails. They could change the email from address to look like it's from somebody else. It's known as spoofing, is what they call it. But yeah, you get an email, the from address, it'll match the real address you would expect to get the email from. But the links, they'll take you to a fake website. So just because the email from address looks legit, it doesn't mean the email's from them. Scammers take advantage of that. They always manipulate the from address. And then they include fake support numbers in their emails that actually call a scammer. There's an extremely common scam right now, and what is a fake order scam is what it's known as. We're going to talk about that one a little later. But what they do is you get notified that an order was placed. It's all fake. There was no order. And it tells you to call this number back to dispute it. But it's not a real support number. It actually calls a scammer. Right? So you always have to remember that. The contact information, it might not be real. Like, scammers are really good when it comes to hiding who they are and tricking you into reaching out to them. And then again, they'll use AI to create convincing email scams and narratives. So you can't always count on grammar, misspellings, or mistakes in the email. They use AI to generate all this stuff now, so it seems much more realistic. Email scams, really, they impersonate pretty much anyone, but the big impersonations are financial institutions like banks and credit card companies, popular brands and retail outlets, service providers like internet, phone, and cable, utility companies, electricity, water, and heat, government agencies like the IRS and Social Security. They're all common impersonations that these email scammers use. Let me know in the chat what email scams you've been getting. Scammers send emails that impersonate trusted companies, banks, or even friends. They really do. So if you get strange emails from a friend, be suspicious. Suddenly you're getting a message from a friend asking for $100 who never asked you for money. You're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Confirm it's actually them. Somebody could just got into their account, try to trick you into sending money. They use urgent language, fake links, or attachments to create a sense of panic. Their goal is usually to steal login credentials, financial information, or install malware on the victim's device. Right? That's the big thing. You can't trust email links. And we're going to talk about that a lot more. Some common email scams include suspicious bank and credit card activity scams. Right? That's when the victim receives a fake email warning of suspicious activity, and it contains a link to supposedly fix the issue or address a situation, but it actually takes you to a fake website, impersonates your bank, and steals your login details. Bogus product offers that link to fake retail websites. You got to be careful with these bogus email offers that direct victims to fake retail websites. They're designed to steal personal financial details. That get a free iPhone offer that comes in the email, you don't want to trust it. Fake order notification scams. I just mentioned this one briefly. But that's when victims receive a fake email alert that an order was placed and are instructed to call a fake support number to cancel. And that fake support number actually calls a scammer. So we'll be talking about that scam a little bit more too as we go on. And there's renewal scams, payment due scams. Victims receive an email with a fake invoice attached or a link to pay a bill. Sometimes it says that there was a billing error, right? They'll impersonate Amazon Prime or Netflix. But then if you click that link, it takes you to a fake website and it steals your personal details. So all important things to be aware of when it comes to email scams. Say that in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Some dangerous actions to avoid, right? Because, remember that key concept, knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers, right? So let's talk about what not to do when it comes to emails. Clicking the email links, right? So scammers hide malicious links in emails. They lead to fake login pages, or they infect your device with malware, a virus. Right? When possible, avoid clicking email links. And look, 99% of the time, you don't need to click on email links. Just go type the address into the browser. There's no reason to trust the link that's in an email. Calling back phone numbers in emails. Right? I mentioned earlier, scammers include fake phone numbers in an email. So you have to be careful when you're calling back a phone number from an unsolicited communication that it's actually the real phone number. If you get an email claiming to be from your bank, you need to go verify the number to call back of your bank. Don't trust the phone number given in the email. And trust an email from addresses, right? Can't do that. We know that scammers spoof those from addresses to look like other people, look like the email came from someone else. So you can't trust those email from addresses. And finally, opening email attachments or scanning QR codes. Right? Email attachments and QR codes might install malware or lead to phishing sites. And we know that scammers are attaching QR codes more often now to emails and text messages because they get past the filters. They get past the text filters. So all important to be aware of. Very dangerous actions to avoid. They could all be avoided, right? And they could all be avoided through these best practices. Right? So here's some best practices to help you stay safe from email scams, right? Because you, again, assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer, and you need to apply these best practices every email you get, right? Always access websites directly instead of clicking links. Right? So by typing the web address yourself, it ensures you're going to the real website. So, and that's a big one. You never want to trust links. If you get access to the website directly, just type it in and access it directly. Always confirm situations through official channels. And this one we're going to mention a lot because this applies to every communication. If someone's reaching out to you saying there's a problem with your account or a payment, contact the company directly using their verified website or customer service, right? Because you don't know if the person that's calling you is actually from the company. It doesn't matter what your caller ID says. So the only choice you really have, the only option you have is to hang up and verify through official channels. And that applies to all these different contact methods, right? And then verify phone numbers before calling back. Because again, we know that they include the fake phone numbers that connect you to scammers. So always look up official contact information if you are going to look into a situation. So that's email scams, right? Important to be aware of all that. We just touched the surface. There's so many scams that come through email. So really, it's important to keep those best practices in mind, and knowing what not to do, again, is key of not falling into the scammer's trap. And that's our first common starting point for scams. We got 5 more we're going to talk about here. How we all doing out there? Welcome to the live stream. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like and a subscribe and a follow. The more we can get, the better. Help spread awareness of these scams. If you just joined us, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Our mission is to spread awareness of common scams that target individuals like you, me, your friends, your family, your loved ones. It's important to be aware of these scams so you can prevent them before losing money to them. Because a lot of people don't realize if you get scammed out of your money, it's very unlikely you'll ever get it back. It's sad, but true. Join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com and hit join mailing list. And you can also follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We're streaming live right now on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So say hi in the chat and leave a comment, and I'll probably say hi right back here. We got super thanks enabled over on YouTube. You want to throw us a couple bucks, we appreciate it. And we also have scamware101.com/donate. We'll gladly take donations. I'm trying to put something good out there into the world. The next common scam starting point that we're going to talk about is phone call and voice scams. Phone call and voice scams, that's when scammers use phone calls to trick people into giving away money, sensitive information, or granting remote access to their devices. Scammers often pose as trusted figures and use urgency and fear to pressure victims into acting quickly. They might threaten legal action, promise financial rewards, or pretend to help with a supposed emergency. That's what those tech support scams are we're going to talk about later, too. All right, let me know in the chat what phone call scams you've been getting lately. Did you know that scammers can automate hundreds of thousands of robocalls each day? That's why you get so many scam phone calls. They're using AI to create realistic-sounding voices and messages, so you won't even realize that's a robot on the other end. And they can manipulate caller ID to show a different name and number to match who they impersonate. So if they're calling you impersonated a bank, the phone number shown on caller ID, it could be your bank's phone number. Right? You can't trust it. Phone scams, they often impersonate law enforcement like local police, the sheriff's office, financial institutions like banks and credit cards, utility providers, electric, water, heat, government agencies like the IRS and Social Security, and friends and family members. They really do. They really do, and they're good at it. You'll believe it. So I will be playing you a video later showing you one of these grandparent scams where they impersonate a family member. Most phone call scams don't come from lone scammers. They're run out of illegal call centers located overseas. The scammers typically follow scripts, but they'll improvise when a victim asks questions. They often spoof or manipulate the name and number shown on caller ID. You know, I must have said 10 times already, and I'm probably going to say it 100 times more on this live stream, because when you hear these victims' stories, so many of them start out with, oh, I got a phone call from my bank, and it showed their name on my caller ID, so I trusted it. And that was their fatal mistake right there. So make sure your loved ones know not to trust caller ID, because by the end of this presentation, you'll be knowing it. Some common phone call scams, they include arrest warrant scams and missed jury duty scams. We actually did a video about arrest warrant scams on our YouTube channel, so check that one out. But that's when scammers impersonate law enforcement, and they call up a victim, and they claim an arrest warrant will be issued if they don't pay fines immediately. Sometimes they tell them the warrant's because they missed jury duty. So be aware of that scam. Then there's also suspicious bank and credit card activity scams. You know, just like email, the scammers, they'll call you too, and they'll impersonate your bank or credit card, and they'll claim suspicious activity was detected, and the scam proceeds. So always be suspicious of anybody calling, claiming to be from your bank or credit card. Fake order notification scams, those apply to phone calls too. Right? Victims receive a call stating an order was placed and are instructed to call back or press 1 to talk to support. But you actually talk to a scammer. There's grandparent scams, or a family in need scam. Scammers call victims, impersonate a loved one, claiming to have been arrested and needing money. All right, so, again, remember that key concept we talk about. Scammers will impersonate anybody, so don't be surprised about some of the impersonations we go through here. Like when I say they will impersonate, they'll literally impersonate your daughter, your granddaughter, like they will. Dave says if a website says do not proceed or has a warning screen, it indicates a potential security risk. You should avoid entering any personal information. It may be unsafe. Good tip. And that's because they don't have the security certificate installed usually, right? It'll say not safe because they don't have the security certificate. Or sometimes Google detects it as not safe and they'll give you a warning before proceeding to. So, knowing what not to do. Remember that key concept. Knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. So let's talk about some actions, some dangerous actions to avoid when it comes to phone call scams. Answering phone calls from unknown numbers. Right? Scammers often use random or spoof numbers to trick you into picking up. If you don't recognize the caller, send it to voicemail. Right? If it's not in your contacts, there's no reason to pick it up. It's important to leave a message. There's no reason to risk talking to a scammer. Calling back phone numbers of unsolicited callers. Returning a missed call from an unknown number could connect you to a scammer. Right? Always verify a number before calling back. Again, that's an example of, say, someone calls up, I'm with your bank, call this number back. Right? They leave a fake number for you. You need to verify. You don't want to call back that fake number. Always go look up the actual bank's number and call there. Trusting the name and number displayed on caller ID. Right? Caller ID can be faked to look like it's from a bank, government, or a trusted business. Don't rely on the display to judge if a call is real. And then providing personal or financial details to a caller. Never give personal or financial information to an unexpected caller. Legit callers won't pressure you for sensitive details over the phone, especially over the first phone call. If it's a legit caller, if it's a legit organization, they should have no problem with you saying, I'm just going to confirm a few things, let me hang up. Right? And you hang up on them and you go check through official sources. And if they don't want you to do that, if they push back on you, that's a big sign, a red flag. Because these organizations, they know scammers are a problem. These organizations, banks, they're the ones recommending hang up and call back. So let's talk about a couple best practices to stay safe from phone scams. Again, assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer. Answer phone calls only from the known contacts. Right? Just let the unknown numbers go to voicemail. Hang up. Confirm the situation through official channels. Right? That's the number one rule. Because you just can't trust anymore. Even if they know things about you, you can't trust it. Scammers know things about people now. And they use that information to try and make them more believable. And again, always verify the official phone numbers that you're calling back. Don't go calling back a fake number that's was left on voicemail that actually calls a scammer. A lot of these victims, they think they're calling back customer support for a billing issue or to cancel an order, and they don't realize it, but they're calling a scammer. So don't trust any contact information given by unsolicited callers. You with me? Let me know in the chat. A little quiet out there, people. Let me know you're watching. Say hi. Leave a comment. Hit that thumbs up. Get some more people up in here. We're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm dropping some scam awareness knowledge on you to help protect yourself and loved ones from scams. Let's talk about our next common scam starting point. Text message scams. Let me know in the chat if you ever got a text message scam before. Text message scams are a common starting point for modern day scams. The messages use deceptive text to trick recipients into clicking malicious links, sharing personal information, or sending money. Some text messages might have a picture, QR code, or other file attached. The scammers usually pose as a trusted person or company. And that's a trend. I mean, most of these scams are impersonation scams. They're usually impersonating somebody trying to trick you. Did you know that scammers can manipulate the caller ID, right? Not just for phone calls, right? Although we mentioned the phone calls a bunch of times, but we didn't mention text messages. They can manipulate caller ID for text messages too. And they'll show a different name and number to match who they're impersonating, banks or law enforcement. They'll send out millions of scam text messages every day. Millions. That's what they're capable of. So if you ever wonder why you get so many scam text messages, that's why. They include links to harmful websites in their text messages. Just like emails, same rule applies. Don't click on those links from unsolicited contacts. And they use AI to create realistic and convincing messages. So be aware of that too. Some text message scams commonly impersonate financial institutions like banks and credit cards, the Department of Motor Vehicles or the Department of Transportation. That scam's huge right now. All these unpaid road tolls due and fake traffic ticket scams. They're so common right now. They impersonate delivery services like USPS, FedEx, UPS. Impersonate government agencies, IRS, Social Security. They impersonate job recruiters and employment firms. Lots of impersonation scams going around in text messages to be aware of. Text message scams are designed to grab attention quickly, often warning about a problem with an account, offering a fake prize, or claiming a package can't be delivered. Text message scammers often disguise or spoof the phone number shown on caller ID to appear as someone else. Let me know in the chat if you've had that happen before. I had a lot of people reporting bank calls, scams. The bank's phone number show up on caller ID. Some common text message scams to be aware of. Suspicious bank and credit card activity scams, all right? That's the same scam that applied to the email scams we talked about, the phone call scams we talked about, and it's a text message scam too. You'll get a text message that they impersonate the bank, they tell you there's a problem, they try to trick you into calling a phone number, clicking a link. There's the unpaid road toll or traffic ticket scams. Victims receive a text message claiming an unpaid road toll or traffic ticket is due. Undeliverable package scams. When victims are notified by text message that a package was undeliverable, they must pay for redelivery. And there's employment scams and fake job offer scams. The text messages offer fake jobs that trick victims into purchasing equipment or depositing money first. All common text message scams. And like we've said, knowing what not to do is how you avoid the traps set by scammers. So some dangerous actions to avoid when it comes to text message scams. Replying to text messages from unknown senders. Right? Scammers use replies to confirm your number is active, and then they just target you more. Right? So even if you know it's a scammer and you want to mess with them or waste, it's not worth texting back. You're just notifying them that your number is valid. You read the text messages, and they're going to target you even more. Then they'll target you from different phone numbers too. So don't reply to text messages. You know where to scam. Just delete them. Clicking links that are in text messages or opening attachments. Links in text messages can lead to fake websites that steal personal or financial details. All right? Do not open attachments or scan QR codes. Because again, we know that scammers, they started attaching these QR codes to get past the filters. So you can't trust these attachments from an unknown source, QR codes from an unknown source, whether it comes through text, email, or anything. Trusting a name and number displayed on caller ID still applies to text messages. Right? We know scammers can spoof the caller ID to make it look like the text came from somebody else. So just because it looks legit doesn't mean you can trust it. And then calling back the phone numbers of unsolicited callers or unsolicited text messengers. These fraudulent texts often include phone numbers that connect directly to scammers. And they're trying to trick you into calling them, so don't fall for it. And some best practices, to stay safe from these text message scams. Assume every unsolicited communication is a scammer. All right, so always access websites directly. Same rule, email applies here. If you could avoid clicking on the link, just access the website directly, type it into your browser, and make sure you go to the real website. Always confirm situations through official channels. You can't just trust anything at face value anymore. You have to confirm through official channels. And, of course, verify the contact information before you engage or interact with a scammer. Look up the real phone number of who they claim to be and reach out through official channels. All important stuff to be aware of when it comes to text message scams. And we see a lot of these text message scams these days. So Let me know in the chat what the most recent text message scam you received was. If you're just joining us, and we're halfway through actually, that's 3. That was how scams start, common method number 3. We got 3 more to go. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101, and we just live stream every week to spread awareness of common scams. And you could help spread awareness by hitting that like button, hitting subscribe, hitting follow, and helping us build up more of an audience here. And the algorithm will share our content out more. So you can make a difference by hitting that like button. We do this live stream every week. We try to go for a few hours here. We're not even an hour in yet, so we still got plenty of exciting content coming up about scam awareness that you can learn to protect yourself from scammers. So hit that like button, invite some more friends over to watch the live stream. We got a lot of good stuff coming up here. You can also hit that super thanks button, scamware101.com/donate. We'll gladly take donations. And again, make sure to join our free mailing list and follow us on social media. The next common scam we're going to talk about, common scam starting point, is internet and website scams. I know that's kind of like a broad term, but the internet is full of scammers trying to steal your money. They create fake websites that trick visitors into making payments, providing personal details, or downloading malicious software. Scammers use fake profiles on social media, impersonate celebrities, and scour online dating websites for new, unsuspecting victims. The scammers are everywhere. Yeah, Dave mentions, I don't know if it's a scam, but I get messages about people wanting to buy my house. You know what, man? I think it is. That's ringing a little bit of bells. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it probably is some kind of scam. They might be trying to get information about your house and then, copies of the titles or something like that, and might be trying to do something shady like that. But you know what? That goes back. But there you go, Dave. You're following the rule, though, right? Assume any unsolicited communication is a scam, right? And that probably is a scam. And you know what? If you're ever interested in selling your house, you'd probably reach out to your own realtor instead of trusting some unsolicited phone call like that. Did you know that scammers design fake websites to steal personal and financial information? They use fake virus alerts and pop-ups offering technical support. They trick victims into calling a fake tech support phone number. That's a big one. That's known as a tech support scam. We're going to be talking about that one a little bit more later. The scammers, they'll also buy search results on Google promoting their fake websites, and they'll purchase ads on social media to reach new victims. So you can't trust a search result just because it's a sponsored search result, and you can't trust a site just because it's on a Facebook ad. Online scammers, they often impersonate popular brands and online retailers, famous celebrities and online influencers, tech support and customer support services, antivirus and software companies like Microsoft and Apple, and users on dating websites. They'll use stolen pictures and stolen identities, of course. Some online scammers sell non-existent items on eBay or Facebook. Other scammers create websites that list fake products for sale to steal your payment details. Many scammers create fake profiles on social media and online dating websites. And there are even fake virus alerts that trick victims into calling a scammer hotline for help. Some common internet scams include fake product offers that link to fake retail websites. These bogus offers that direct victims to those fake retail websites designed to steal personal or financial details. Right? And a lot of those offers, a lot of time they'll say just pay shipping, and they'll be offering you a product for like $100, $200, and they say just pay shipping for $8. That's always a red flag. Customer support and tech support scams. When scammers impersonate tech support to gain access to victims' devices and accounts, including their bank accounts. The tech support one is a dangerous one. It's important to be aware of the tech support scam, and we actually did a video about that too on our YouTube channel. So if you want to just skip and go check out that video, it's on our YouTube channel. But I definitely recommend watching that one and being aware of tech support scams, the fake virus alerts. They trick you into calling a scammer. Romance scams, fake profiles on dating websites. Scammers find victims on dating websites by creating fake dating profiles using someone else's pictures and identities. You gotta be careful out there on the dating websites. And the fake prize winner giveaway sweepstakes scams. Scammers trick victims into revealing financial details or paying fees and taxes on a fake prize that doesn't exist. So you get that pop-up, this flash, and you win, click here. It's a scam. Let me know in the chat if you've encountered that scam before. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, hit that thumbs up and give us a like. Some dangerous actions to avoid. Because again, knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers. Clicking too good to be true offers. Right? Scammers lure victims in with fake discounts or free products that don't exist. If a deal seems unrealistic, it likely is. It's a scam. Sending money to strangers you've never met. Fraudsters often invent stories online to convince people to send money. Never send money to strangers online. Calling unfamiliar phone numbers for support. Right, this goes back to that tech support scam. Fake support numbers often connect you directly to scammers. Always confirm phone numbers on official company websites. And trusting ads on social media and results in Google. Like we said, scammers buy ads and search results just like anybody else. So just because the results might appear legitimate, it doesn't mean it is. So browse with caution. And some best practices to help you stay safe from internet scams. Double check website addresses. Right? Scammers often create fake sites that look nearly identical to real ones. Always look for misspellings or extra characters or unusual domain endings. A common one was happening a lot is, how you have the .com ending, right? Well, you could also purchase for a domain, you could also purchase a .co. So what scammers would do is they would purchase a bunch of .co domain names, matching popular .com names. And what happens, people would go, they'd go to Microsoft.com, but they would accidentally leave off the M at the end. They would get redirected to the fake website, to the .co website. So we always want to double check the websites you're visiting and make sure that there's no misspellings and you're not being tricked. Always be cautious of online offers, right? Unrealistic deals, prizes, or opportunities are common scam tactics. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. Take extra time to verify before acting. And always verify phone numbers before calling, just like with emails and texts. Fake websites, they list scam phone numbers. Cross-check them with official sources before calling. And another thing to mention about that is when we say check through official sources, go look it up on the website. But if you're searching for a website, make sure you click on the right one. Because again, scammers, they put up the fake websites. So they'll put up a fake website that looks like PayPal, but it'll give you a fake number to call. Right? You think you're calling PayPal, but you're actually calling a scammer. So all important things to be aware of when it comes to internet and website scams. And keeping yourself and loved ones safe. And look, we barely touched the surface. So there's so many scams on the internet. Like this is a drop in a bucket what we just talked about. That's why you always got to stay cautious and on guard when you're online. It's the Wild West. It's the Wild West out there, people. Hey, if you're just joining, say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. We're streaming live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Seems a little quiet tonight. Let's see if we can get some more action in here. Invite some friends, hit that like button. Say hi. Again, we do this live stream every week, every Thursday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern. And our goal is to spread awareness of common scams so you can protect yourself, protect your loved ones. You join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com, and click join mailing list. We'll keep you updated, let you know when we're going live and we post new content. And also, you can help support our mission by buying a Scamaware 101 mug or mouse pad. We have a few more items on our online store too. So over on our YouTube store or on our website, scroll at the bottom and click merch store. If you're just joining us, we're going over some common starting points for scams and how you can prevent a scam before it even starts by recognizing these things. So the next common starting point for scams, mail scams or snail mail scams, traditional mail. Right? Mail scams use letters delivered through the postal service to trick people into sending money, sharing personal details, or responding to bogus offers and fake prizes. What makes mail scams effective is their ability to appear credible and personal by reaching people directly at their home address, giving the illusion of legitimacy. right? So people tend to believe snail mail a little bit more. It comes directly to their house. But going back to our key concept, right? You have to assume that every unsolicited communication is a scam. It's no different with mail in your mailbox. Did you know that scammers use AI to compose convincing letters that they send to their victims? They use fake letterhead and impersonate real organizations. They'll even include fake checks with some of their scam letters. Sometimes they'll include QR codes for the victims to scan. All sneaky tricks that they use in snail mail scams. Mail scams often impersonate legal services and law offices, popular brands and retail outlets, utility companies, electricity, water, and heat, sweepstakes and contests like Publishers Clearinghouse, and government agencies like the IRS and Social Security. Always remain cautious of letters or postcards received from unknown senders. They may be scams attempting to collect your personal information. Mail scams often appear as official-looking notices, special offers, or past due bills. Some scammers include fake checks that eventually bounce after a victim deposits them. And we'll talk about some of these scams a little later in the stream. Some common snail mail scams include inheritance scams. Victims receive a letter in the mail saying that they're entitled to an inheritance, but they're actually tricked into paying fees and taxes to the scammer, and the inheritance doesn't exist. Fake prize winner giveaway and sweepstakes scams. Right? Scammers notify victims that they won a free prize or sweepstakes, but it's actually a trick to get them to reveal financial details or paying fees and taxes on the non-existent prize. We have mystery shopper check scams. We did a video about this one too on our YouTube channel, but that's when victims receive a check in the mail to purchase gift cards as a secret shopper. But it's a scam. The check bounces, but not until the scammer gets away with the gift cards. So the victim gets stuck with like a $2,000 bounced check, and they were tricked into purchasing gift cards. And we'll talk about that one a little bit more. And we got postcard offering free gifts. Right? Sometimes they come with a QR code to scan. Those are bogus offers that direct victims to fake retail websites designed to steal their payment details. So they're all common mail scams. That's just a few of them. So, just like with the other scams, knowing what not to do is how you avoid the traps set by scammers, right? So let's talk about some actions to avoid when it comes to mail, right? Trusting too good to be true offers received in the mail, right? Fraudulent mail often promises prizes, free money, or unrealistic rewards. And if an offer sounds too good to be true, it usually is, right? Scanning QR codes and visiting websites received in the mail. Scammers might include QR codes or website links in letters to trick you into visiting malicious websites. Don't do it. Don't trust it, and do some research first before you visit these unfamiliar websites that you get in the mail. Depositing unsolicited checks received in the mail. Sometimes scammers send the fake checks that appear real, but later they bounce. Never deposit checks you weren't expecting or can't verify. And by the way, when they bounce, the bank hits you with a fee too, so that just adds insult to injury. Paying invoices received in the mail without verifying first. Right? Sometimes criminals, they'll send fake bills hoping you'll just pay without checking. So always verify invoices and bills that you received in the mail before sending payment. Make sure you're actually sending payment to a legitimate source, and verify, check your account. Actually see if there's something due. And some best practices to stay safe from mail scams. Now, as always, every unsolicited communication is a scammer. Right? Remain suspicious of urgent requests. Letters that demand immediate payment or threaten consequences are classic scam pressure tactics. Take your time and verify before acting. Watch out for too good to be true offers, right? Sweepstakes winnings, inheritances, or investment promises sent by mail are usually scams. If you didn't enter, you didn't win, right? Confirm official contact info before responding. If the mail claims to be from a government agency, bank, or company, contact that organization directly using a verified phone number or website, not the contact info in the letter. All right, so that's very important to remember. These scammers, they include that fake contact information, and they're trying to trick you to call them. You think you're calling tech support or some other company, but you're actually calling a scammer. That's the fifth common scam starting point. We've got one more left. We'll talk about QR codes now next. But how are we doing out there? Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. I don't know why it's so quiet tonight here. I see a couple people over on the Facebook. Nobody's on Instagram anymore right now. Don't know how many people are watching on YouTube, but it's quiet. So say hi and let me know you're watching. And share your stories. I want to hear from you. The next common scam starting point we're going to talk about, QR code scams, which, we noticed we mentioned QR codes as we mentioned all the other ones. It kind of crosses over all the different types of starting points here. But malicious QR codes could lead to fake websites designed to steal account logins, payment details, or other sensitive information. They are unreadable to the human eye and must be scanned to see where it leads. One of the riskiest actions you could take is scanning a QR code from an unverified source. Did you know that scammers use QR codes to direct victims to harmful websites? They'll send postcards and letters containing harmful QR codes. They'll attach malicious QR codes to emails and text messages. And in public, they'll even cover legit QR codes with malicious QR codes of their own. So you'll be in public, you scan a QR code, you're actually scanning one that a scammer slapped on top of the legit one. Some QR code scams impersonate popular brands and retail outlets, parking authorities and traffic enforcement, online marketplaces, e-commerce websites, sweepstakes, publishers clearinghouse, right? Popular mobile apps and trading platforms. There's really no limit to who these QR code scams claim to be. QR code scams have become more common since they make it easy for criminals to disguise malicious links behind what looks like a harmless black and white square. Scammers attach QR codes to emails, text messages, letters, and postcards. In public, some scammers cover legitimate QR codes with stickers of malicious ones. Right? Some common QR code scams: fake product offers that direct to fake retail websites. Right? Bogus offers with QR codes to scan, and they direct victims to their fake retail websites designed to steal payment details. Brushing scams. So you'll get a package that arrives, and it has no from or return details, only a QR code to scan. But scanning the code installs malware on your device. Fake parking ticket, fake traffic ticket scams. So victims find parking or traffic tickets on their vehicle, like actual printed out ticket in their windshield. But when they scan the QR code, it'll take them to a fake website that steals their payment details. It's a pretty clever one there. Watch out for that one. And you got the fake prize winner, giveaway, and sweepstakes scams. When scammers trick victims into revealing financial details or paying fees and taxes, a fake prize that doesn't exist. They usually start it with, you won, scan this QR code. All right, but it's a scam. Can't trust it. Let me know in the chats, in the comments here, if you've received any QR code scams recently. Knowing what not to do is how you avoid traps set by scammers, right? Repeat after me. So some dangerous actions to avoid when it comes to QR codes, right? Scanning unknown QR codes found in public, right? We know that scammers place malicious QR code stickers on top of posters, ads, and public signs to direct you to dangerous websites. So be very careful scanning QR codes in public. Scanning QR codes received in the mail. Right? Criminals send physical letters with QR codes that lead to fake websites or malware. Be skeptical of QR codes in unsolicited mail. Scanning QR codes attached to email or text message. Scammers often embed QR codes in emails or texts to bypass spam filters and trick you into opening the malicious sites. And then entering personal information after scanning a QR code. So if you really have no choice but to scan this QR code, at least be careful entering any sensitive information. Verify the site looks like it's legit and it matches where you expected it to go. And it can't be too safe when it comes to these QR codes. And regarding that, some best practices to help you stay safe from QR codes. Right? Access websites directly instead of scanning the QR code. Look, the safest QR code is one you don't have to scan. Just like how I have my QR code on my screen right now, right? My donate QR code. But you don't have to trust that QR code. I got the URL listed under it. You could just go directly, scamaware101.com/donate. Right? It's right there. So you don't have to scan the QR code. You just type the URL in. And that's really the safest way to deal with QR codes, is avoid scanning them altogether. Instead, type the website into your browser and access the website directly. Inspect the QR code for tampering or to see if it looks like it was placed on top of another one, right? Because we know that scammers are doing that. And then preview the website URL before proceeding. Many phones, they let you preview the link before opening it. So you'll scan a QR code, it pops up a preview of where it's going. So at least make sure that matches where you expect it to go before fully going forward to the website. Right? Makes sense? Let me know in the chat if that makes sense and you're finding this useful. If you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe, like, follow. Let's get some more people up in here. And that was 6 common ways that scams start. So let's go over some key takeaways here. Thanks, Dave. I think you're the only one watching, man. Everybody's so quiet tonight. So here's some key takeaways from everything we kind of just discussed here. So key takeaway number 1, knowing what not to do is how you avoid the traps set by scammers. Right? I said that a lot during this presentation, but it really is key. The most powerful scam protection is knowing what not to do. In this module, we discussed over 25 dangerous actions to avoid. We just discussed 25 dangerous actions to avoid. Right? By recognizing and avoiding those risky behaviors, you make it harder for scammers to pull you into their trap. All right, so here are some key takeaways regarding the dangerous actions to remember. Trusting the identity of unsolicited communications. You never want to trust the identity of unsolicited communications, right? Scammers often pretend to be banks, delivery services, or government agencies to gain your trust. Just because a message looks official or shows a familiar name doesn't mean it's real, right? Trusting the contact information in an unsolicited contact. Again, it doesn't matter how they contact you, but scammers include fake phone numbers, email addresses, or websites in their messages. Always look up the official contact details instead of trusting what was provided. Right, and then responding or revealing personal information. Never respond or share sensitive information with a caller or on a website until legitimacy is verified through official channels. And clicking links, opening attachments, QR codes, they could all hide viruses or send you to fake websites that steal your information. So if you didn't expect it or can't confirm the source, don't click, open, or scan. Really, those are some key takeaways to keep in mind. Hey, Elle, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. You're asking a question here. Let's see. I want to know how much I could sell the same 0 day on the black market instead of a bug bounty program. Or I got to help you with that one, man. I wouldn't know anyhow. Good luck with that, though. So we got a viewer in the chat here. He says he'd rather sell a 0 day on the black market instead of a bug bounty program. That's terrible, man. Why you do the right thing? Submit to the bug bounty and get paid. Don't submit to these 0 day people, man. Do the right thing. I know it's tempting to do the wrong thing, but don't go to the dark side, man. But if you do, hey, best of luck to you. So, and a couple more key takeaways here regarding everything we just talked about. And this one, assume every unsolicited communication, right, is a scammer. So, by adopting the best practices and developing safe habits, you could stop a scam before it starts. The safest mindset is to treat every unsolicited contact with suspicion until legitimacy is confirmed. In this module, we discussed over 20 best practices that you could follow to protect yourself from scams. Here are some key takeaways regarding best practices to stay safe from scammers. Always confirm situations through official channels, right? And this is kind of rule number 1, because there's no way to legitly confirm without hanging up and reaching out through official channels. Always verify unexpected requests or claims by contacting the organization directly through their official website, phone number, or other trusted source. If a situation sounds too good to be true, investigate it more by searching Google or discussing with friends and family. All right. Always have to confirm the situations. No matter how realistic something sounds, we know these scammers don't impersonate anybody. They're great at what they do. They'll leave fake information. You have to actually hang up and confirm through official sources, whether it's a text, email, phone. Always access websites directly instead of clicking links or scanning QR codes. Right? It's a good habit to have. 99% of the time, you could avoid clicking links. Sometimes you could avoid scanning QR codes, and you should. It's a good habit to. I never click email links. I never click them. Unless they're one of those special links that they send to verify that you have to click the link, right? But other than that, if there's a notification about a bill or some kind of issue, I just go to the website directly. There's no reason to trust the links. All right. So type the website address in your browser to avoid being directed to the fake website. And then confirm official contact info before responding. Scammers leave fake phone numbers to trick victims. They always confirm the real phone number of the organization you wish to reach. Right? Never trust contact information provided by a stranger until confirmed their official channels. And there you have it. That's our key takeaways here about how scams start. So we covered a lot there, right? Good stuff. Let me know what you think. Been working on this presentation for a while, so appreciate any feedback. I see L says he was just sure you were just joking, man. Sure you were just joking. All right. No, I don't believe it. I'm just kidding. It's all good. We'll talk after the live stream about that 0 day. Nah, I'm just playing. All right, everybody, let me know if you're watching. Say hi in the chat. We're streaming on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Seems a little quiet tonight. I'm not sure why. All right, everybody, if you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. We just wrapped up our first hour here. Actually, wow, perfect timing. Actually, right on the dot here. Wow, cool. So we do this live stream every week to try to spread awareness of common scams. And by the way, I'm just messing with it. Thank you for coming to the live stream, participating in the chat, though. I was having some fun here. But yeah, we do this live stream every week, try to spread awareness about common scams. And look, join our free mailing list, scamaware101.com. You can join our free mailing list. We'll send you updates, let you know when we post new content, send you some scam warnings. And look, we won't take advantage, right? You can unsubscribe at any time, but we're not sending you junk mail all day long or anything. So I'm pretty sure you'll be happy with it. So check out our free mailing list, scamaware101.com, join mailing list. Follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We have the links here on our homepage too. We're on YouTube, Blue Sky, X, Instagram, Threads, Facebook. We need some more Facebook followers. We're trying to get up to 500 followers because then we could get stars or whatever from our viewers, right? So that's our goal, is at 500 followers. We're about halfway there. But if you don't follow us on Facebook yet, help us out. Facebook.com/scamaware101. And also on our website, you can see our live schedule here too. So our weekly live schedule is listed here. You can see our next one's coming up September 4th. And we also have them on our Facebook page too. We create events for all live streams if you want to RSVP and get a reminder. And our free mailing list too. We send a reminder out an hour before we go live as well. So join the free mailing list if you want to get reminders before our live streams too. Hey Barbara, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Thanks for saying hi. All right, so for this next portion of the live stream, we're going to talk about some red flags. Oh, but before we go into red flags, real quick, welcome if you're just joining. Welcome to our live stream. Do it every week. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Feel free to hit that super thanks button on YouTube. Gladly accept a couple dollars. Don't feel required though. We're just happy if you hit the like button. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. We're just happy to spread awareness. But the super thanks is enabled. We have memberships enabled too over on YouTube. And we have our donate page here on Scamware101/donate. You can choose a one-time donation or pick a monthly donation. We'll put towards good use of spreading scam awareness. There's our donate page here. And we also have our gift shop. If you want to scoop up some merch, we have some mugs and mouse pads available, some water bottles. The idea was we wanted to have everything that you could kind of have on your desk as a reminder, right? Not to fall for scams, right? You got your coffee mug here on your desk. You're about ready to click a malicious email link, but you see your Scamaware 101 coffee mug. You remember, oh shoot, might not fall for the scam. They're a little overpriced, but no, that goes back to supporting the cost. So that's what it's really about. But anyway, say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. We're going to jump into some red flags now. And these red flags are going to tell you how to avoid scams, how to spot scams, how to realize that you're talking to a scammer. We have a video about all the red flags we're about ready to discuss as well. So you could go check out that video later, share it with a friend that should be aware of these red flags. But the thing about these red flags is why they're so important is when you hear these victims' stories, so many times there's these common red flags where if they were aware of them, it might have been enough to stop the scam, right? So we compiled 5 common red flags that we'll talk about. There's more. We're going to have a second video coming out with some more red flags, but we're going to talk about like 5 of the most common red flags that you might run into and to be aware of. Yeah, Dave generated a theme song for us. I don't have it set up yet on the computer in like a way that I can kind of play it for everybody. So I think by next week though, I'm going to have it set up. And maybe I'll play it during the coffee breaks or during the intro. But it's a fun, yeah, man. Dave, I'm enjoying that song. I've been playing it for everybody, man. It's been fun. Oh, good. Here's a question. Barbara's asking, how could you know it's a bad email? Great question. So there's a few ways you could know. But what we just kind of went over, in fact, you probably missed it because we were talking about emails when we started live stream. We were talking about emails, but really, what's most important is knowing what not to do. And what I mean by that is, if you get an email and you're not sure it's a scam, okay, instead of trying to figure out if it is by like looking at the email and determining, don't click on the link. Right? You get an email, it says your Xfinity bill is due. Right? Instead of trying to figure out if the email is real or fake and what's wrong with it, just go directly to your Xfinity account and see if you have a bill due, right? There's no reason to click those links at all. So my first rule is like, before even determining if the email is a scam or not, know how to avoid it altogether, right? And in fact, that's how you could tell it's a scam. You logged into your account, you saw that there was no invoice. Well, now you know it was a scam email, right? Or you log into your account and there is a bill due. Okay. And they just pay it right when you're on the website. You don't even click the link, right? So that's how you safely, use email. You try avoid clicking the links altogether, just go directly to your account, check it that way. That's the best way to stay safe when it comes to email. But to answer your question about how do you know if an email is real or not, besides going directly to your account and checking, if the alert made any sense, there are some giveaways. One of the first ones is you could check the from address, right? Again, it's not guaranteed that the from address will be different, but you could check the from address and see if it looks strange at all. Right? If it doesn't match, if it claims to be from Social Security, for example, and the email isn't from SSA.gov, that's a tip. That tells you that's a fake email. It's not from where it's supposed to be. Right, it came from a different email address. So that's one way you could tell that it's a fake email. And the other one is the links, right? On a phone, it's harder to tell, but on a computer, you could hover the mouse over the link. Don't click it, but you could hover the mouse over it. And a lot of times it'll show you a different link that it points to. So you could see, wait, this doesn't point to where it says it's supposed to. So that's a red flag too. Little hard to explain that just through words without showing you on the screen, but let me know if that made sense. Check the from address, see if it matches where it's supposed to be. Hover over the links, see if they actually point to where they're supposed to be. But try to avoid using the email altogether, right? It's a notification about a bill. Just go direct to your account. Don't even click on the link, right? Don't even you don't even have to spend the time trying to figure out if the email's real or not. Just go direct to your account and check, and then you could always call the company too. Don't trust the contact information that's in the email though, because if it is a scam email, they'll include contact information that's fake, right? So if you get an email from Xfinity, instead of calling the number that the email says, go look up Xfinity's phone number and call, right? A lot to take in there. I hope it answered your question. If not, I could go into it a little bit more. But hopefully that answers your question about how do you know if it's a bad email. But thanks for asking. I appreciate it. It's always good to get questions and interaction in here. But let me know if that answer helps, though. So we're going to talk about some red flags here. And red flag number one that you're dealing with a scammer, right, is they try to direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. And scammers love to use these third-party chat apps because it's easier for them to communicate with victims in other countries. So they'll start the scam through a normal, more traditional communication method, text, phone, email. But eventually they're going to say, hey, why don't we keep talking on WhatsApp? Hey, why don't you join my Telegram channel, right? But that's a red flag. And they also offer more anonymity to hide behind. So that's why these scammers like using third-party chat apps. Some scams where that's part of the playbook to direct you to a third-party chat app. Romance scams, right? These fake dating profiles, they lure in new victims. And then when they match people on these dating websites, they try to get them to talk on WhatsApp. Right, so that's a red flag. Wrong number scams. Those start with a text message probing for new victims. And we're going to talk about wrong number scams in a little bit. But they probe for new victims. And then anybody who replies, they'll say, hey, let's keep talking on WhatsApp. Right? Investment scams. They direct the victim to a Telegram or WhatsApp group to pump up an investment. So sometimes the group is just other bots or scammers trying to make it look like it's legit. But it's all part of the scam. So that's a big red flag. If you're talking to someone and they're trying to direct you to continue talking on Telegram or WhatsApp, be suspicious. It's red flag number one. Let me know in the chat if you've encountered that too. I want to know what you guys are encountering, experiencing, what red flags. Feel free to share some more red flags too. Red flag number two. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Oh, we got John in the chat. Good to see you, John. I was actually going to send you a text on the coffee break. I forgot to text you before. But yeah, red flag number two. Cryptocurrency, gift cards, Bitcoin ATMs. Any mention of that is a red flag. Scammers love those unusual forms of payment because it's easier for them to move and transfer funds quickly. And it's harder for victims to recover the money after it's sent. Some scams where it's part of the playbook. To ask for cryptocurrency, gift cards, or go to a Bitcoin ATM. You have the IRS and Social Security scams. When scammers impersonate the government agencies, they ask for payment in gift cards or cryptocurrency. Big red flag, because the government agencies, they don't accept cryptocurrency or gift cards. Maybe cryptocurrency is coming up soon in the future, but it's not there yet. So it's always a big red flag. Romance scams. Scammers, they'll request gift cards and cryptocurrency from their emotionally attached victim. The victim thinks they're just sending gift cards or cryptocurrency to someone they're in a relationship with, but it's a scam. And bank impersonation scams. Victims withdraw cash from the bank and they purchase gift cards as instructed by scammers. All right, so it's always a red flag when you hear any mention of gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency. Oh, sweet. I usually give John a text message to remind him of the live stream, but he got the reminder through email. So always good to know the reminders are working. And there you go. That's why if you're watching, if you haven't joined our mailing list yet, scamaware101.com, hit join mailing list. We'll send you out a reminder, let you know when we're going live. It's all good. We don't send you junk mail or anything. Red flag number 3. You're talking to a scammer. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. Look, this is a very common scam. We see it a lot more on marketplace type websites. And the scammer is usually impersonating a buyer or seller. And what they're actually trying to do is they're trying to open an account attached to the victim's phone, or they're trying to log into a victim's account and their phone's getting notified, or trying to reset a victim's password. They're trying to do something shady. And what they do is they tell the victim, hey, I'm just trying to confirm your identity, or I'm just trying to confirm your phone number. So I'm going to send you a code. But what they're really doing, they're doing something shady behind the scenes. And some examples of what might be going on behind the scenes is account login attempts, right? They're trying to log into one of your accounts. So if you get a code sent to your phone, that's a security precaution. If you give that code to the scammer, you just let them into your account. So don't do that. You can't give codes away to people that say they're going to send it to your phone. There's something shady going on if a person says they're going to send a code to your phone. Password reset requests, right? The scammer could be trying to reset one of your passwords so he can access your account. And you're getting that code as a security precaution. If you give it to the scammer, you're letting them reset your account. And then there's the Google Voice scams. So what these scammers do, they like to create these fraudulent Google Voice accounts, but they need somebody else's phone number to link them to. So what they do is they create the account and they say, hey, I'm sending you a code. But it's actually Google Voice confirming. And if you send that code back to the scammer, you let them create the fraudulent account. And then they're going to use that Google Voice account to scam people. All attached to your phone number, right? So red flag number 3, right? Somebody's telling you they're going to send a code to your phone. Don't trust it. It's a scam, especially on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, those types of sites. It's very, very common. By the way, if you're just joining us, welcome to the live stream. It's good to see you. Say hi in the chat, in the comments. Let us know you're watching. I'm mainly monitoring the YouTube chats, but I'm jumping back and forth between the Facebook and the Instagram ones too. So say hi on Facebook, say hi on Instagram. Make sure to hit that like button. Help us out. Help us spread awareness about these scams. We rely on your likes and follows and subscriptions. So help us do something good here and to continue spreading awareness about scams. Let's talk about red flag number 4. They're dealing with a scammer. They ask to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. And look, this has become a lot more common over the years, so it's important to be aware of this one. And basically, the reason why scammers love to connect to victims' devices and their computers is because it's a gold mine to them, right? Once they're connected to a victim's device, they could steal logins and passwords. They could steal or encrypt the victim's files. And a lot of times they could gain access to banking accounts and credit card accounts through that person's device, right? So you never want to let a stranger or someone unknown access your device. And we're seeing this a lot more now with scams. It's actually part of the playbook now for a lot of scams. You have these fake virus alerts or a tech support scam. And they pop up and they say, you're infected with a virus. Call this phone number for support. But if you call, you're connected to a scammer, right? And then what they're going to do is they're going to ask to connect your device. That's all part of the scam. Fake order scams, where they impersonate customer support, assisting you with that fake order. A lot of times they'll say, hey, let me access your PC and see what your account looks like. But it's all a trick to get onto your device. It's part of the scam. And there's the fake fraudulent activity. You'll be contacted by someone that's impersonating an agency or they'll impersonate a bank and they'll say they're investigating fraud. And they'll ask to connect your PC. They might offer to check your other accounts for you, right? But what you don't realize is, a scammer connects to your device. He's like, yeah, let's log into this bank account and see. Let's log into that. And next thing you know, you don't realize you're giving him access to your bank accounts. So never let strangers onto your computer. Everybody should have their own. The way I look at this is everybody should have their computer person. Right? If there's something that's going on with your computer, you have that person in your head that you're going to reach out to and call. Maybe it's the computer shop down the street. Maybe it's that family member that's good with computers, right, John? Or maybe it's the tech support people at work, right? But in your mind, you already know who you're going to call, right, if you have a computer problem. So when you get one of these fake pop-ups or these issues that say, call this number for support, don't call it. Definitely don't call it because it's going to be a scam. Instead, if you're concerned that it's real, call your computer person. Only let trusted people onto your device. So that's red flag number 4. They try to connect to your PC. And red flag number 5. They request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. Right? It's super common for scammers to ask for confidentiality. They don't want you to discuss the situation with other people because the more people you talk to, the more likely you'll be told it's a scam. Right? So that's a huge red flag when they're asking for confidentiality. And some scams where that's part of the playbook. Grandparent scams. That's when they impersonate a relative that needs help, right? And they'll say they've been arrested, but they'll claim the relative is embarrassed. So don't tell anybody. That's the red flag. That's the trick they use to get secrecy,
right? Oh, they're embarrassed about their arrest. Don't tell anybody. What they're really doing is they're just trying to get the person not to talk to anybody. Investment scams. They'll tell you it's an inside tip and not to share it, or a price is just for you, not to tell anybody. That's just to keep it quiet, not talking about the scam that's happening. Inheritance scams. They'll mail you a letter impersonating law offices, claiming you have an inheritance. And of course, the letter will say they'll request confidentiality. Right? What do they care if you want to tell someone about inheritance? It's not up to them. There's no reason for them a law office to request confidentiality, right? So that's a red flag. And then there's a fake fraudulent activity, right? Where again, as a bank or an agency, they call you up, say they're investigating fraud. But what they do is they'll say, since it's an active investigation, you can't tell anybody about it. It could impede the investigation, and then we'll hold you responsible, right? So, but that's all part of the scam. They want to scare the victim into not talking to anybody about what's going on. So that's red flag number 5. They're dealing with a scammer. They request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. Now let me know in the chat you've encountered these red flags and any other red flags too that you encounter. Hit that like button. Let me know you're watching. Come on, people. I see people watching on Facebook. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. Hit the heart. There we go. So if you're just joining, let me summarize those 5 red flags we just talked about. These are 5 red flags. You're dealing with a scammer. Red flag number 1 was they direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Right? Always be suspicious about that. We know that scammers love to use those apps. So they request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. Always a red flag. Somebody mentions gift cards, Bitcoin ATM, any of that. Always a red flag. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. Right? Very common scam. See it a lot. Don't trust anybody that says they're going to send a code to your phone. They're probably trying to do something malicious using your phone number. And then red flag number 4. They ask you to connect to your PC to assist or investigate an issue. Right? Only let trusted people on your PC. We know that that's a common trick that scammers use with tech support scams, customer support scams. They try to trick you into letting them onto your device. Don't do it. Only let trusted people on there. And then number 5 was they request that you keep the matter confidential or secret. All right? Always a red flag. Really, the intention is scammers just don't want you talking to people because then you'll more likely to hear that's a scam. So those are 5 red flags. Hey, let me know in the chat any other red flags. We'll be coming out with another video soon with some more because there's definitely more red flags to be aware of. But those are some of the main ones. So if you come across any of those, it's a reason for pause, right? Pause, reanalyze what's going on, and talk to some people. And again, those 5 red flags, those slides that we just shared too, there's a video on our YouTube channel that it just covers everything we just discussed with those same slides. So definitely share that video with any loved ones you think would find that useful. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Barbara says she's drinking my words. Awesome. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. I hope you're finding some of it useful. And that's our mission here, is to spread awareness about common scams. So, and hopefully you could pass the word along to the people you know, right? Make them aware. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. We do this every week. It's a free live stream where we just spread awareness about common scams. We're streaming live right now on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So hit that like button, follow, subscribe, hit the heart. We're going to be going for probably at least another hour or 2. So it's still a good time. We can invite some people to the live stream. Get some more people in here. Barbara's asking, do you know how to delete Gmail without opening it? I'm not sure. Can you just delete it without... I guess it shows a preview. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one. Maybe somebody in the chat could help you with that one, Barbara. And if you haven't joined our free mailing list yet, definitely check out scamware101.com and hit join mailing list. It's the best way to keep up to date with the new content we're releasing. We'll send you reminders when we're going live. All good stuff. But let's see, it is almost 7:15, so it's time to take that quick first coffee break of the live stream here. We usually just take a quick 5-minute break, refill the Scamware 101 coffee mug, which is available in our YouTube store. And then we'll be back in 5 minutes and what we're going to do next. So definitely stay tuned. What we're going to do next is we're going to start going over common scams. We're going to show you the examples of the common scams. We're going to show you emails. We're going to play phone call recordings. In fact, we're going to talk about a grandparent scam next. It's the first scam we're talking about when we get back in about 5 minutes. And that grandparent scam, we're going to show you a video of a scammer actually performing it, right? So definitely stay tuned. Lots of good stuff coming up here. All right, we're going to be back in 5. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe, follow, and stay tuned. Lots of good stuff coming up. We'll be back in 5 minutes. All right, let's see how we're doing here. We're going to continue in just a minute. Let's check the live stream, see how we're doing. A little quiet. It's okay. A little quiet today. If you're watching over on Instagram, Facebook, say hi. Let me know you're watching. It's good to see the people over on the YouTube channel. We got Barbara there, and John there, and Dave there. We had Elle a little earlier. Don't know if Elle's still there or not. But always good to see some familiar faces and some new faces. All right.
right, cool. We're going to keep on going here. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. We just wrapped up the first portion of our live stream, and we're going into the second portion here. We covered some scam awareness fundamentals. We discussed some red flags. And now we're going to dive into some common scams. And we're going to show you some actual examples of these common scams so you can spot them and be more aware of them. Because awareness is key. Again, I can't stress this enough. If you recognize a scam after you send money, it's too late. Because a lot of times there's no second chances when it comes to that. The money's going to be gone. You can't retrieve it. The bank's not going to be able to get it back for you. The police can't do anything about it. You know, a lot of these scammers, they're in foreign countries that they're out of the reach of the law. You know, they're in places where there's no government or the government's corrupt, like Myanmar, right? There's lots of bad stuff happening out there. It gets pretty dark, this scam stuff and the people behind it. Like, we're talking big criminal organizations. There's human trafficking involved. Like it's not pretty what's going on, you know, in the underworld when it comes to these scammers and big time scams. So it's important to spread awareness. And that's what we do here at Scamware 101. So you can follow us on all your favorite social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. We're most active on Facebook and YouTube. So you can probably get the most out of it by following us on there. You can join our free mailing list, scamware101.com, and hit join mailing list. Feel free to donate a couple bucks. You can use scamware101.com/donate, or you can use the super thanks over on YouTube. We just enabled memberships over on YouTube as well. So it's just another way to help support the mission over here. And we do have a scam awareness course coming out very soon. Very soon. So make sure to join the mailing list and we'll notify you when it's up there. But anyway, enough of that. Let's continue on to some common scams. And the first common scam we're going to talk about here are grandparent scams. That's when scammers impersonate a distressed relative claiming to have been arrested and needing financial help. Victims, usually seniors, act quickly to assist their loved ones. The scammers will often impersonate law enforcement, court personnel, and lawyers to extract even more money from their victim. Now, this is one of those scams that really everybody should be angry about. I mean, it's called a grandparent scam because it literally targets your grandparents. It targets your parents and your grandparents, right? Or if you're the grandparent or the parent, it targets you. And it uses the child as bait, right? They impersonate the child. They claim to be in trouble. They need help. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I would know if my child was actually calling me. They wouldn't be able to impersonate my child, right? But we actually have a video here to share with you. And it kind of shows you how these grandparent scams work and how they could be so convincing. And let me just frame up this video before I play it for you. What we're going to watch here is a short video. It's of a scammer in the Dominican Republic, right? And his thing was doing grandparent scams. And what happened was a scam baiter, one of these guys that they waste the scammer's time and messes with them. He's over on YouTube. He goes by Scam Sandwich is his handle over on YouTube if you want to check out his videos, which I definitely recommend. He hacked into this scammer's webcam and recorded him. So we could actually watch the scammer do the grandparent scam. We could watch him impersonate the granddaughter, then impersonate the police officer, and you can see exactly how these grandparent scams work. The full video is really cool. You get to see the scammer freak out and get messed with and everything. But I'm going to show you just a short clip just showing you how the grandparent scam portion of it works. And this is what you need to be aware of. Because watch, when I hit play, what you're going to notice is it's only 20 seconds where he impersonates the granddaughter. It's just 20 seconds. And when he impersonates her, he's very distressed. So it could be anybody's granddaughter if you get a call like that, right? So anyway, I'm going to play it for you right now. And let me know in the chat what you think. And let me know if let's see if the volume's good here. Yeah, the volume should be good. Yeah. All right, cool. I'm going to play it for you right now. Let me know how the volume is.
Oh, Mom, I had a car accident.
Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report. She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, we actually confiscated her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
The next
Right, so what do you think? Let me know in the chat what you think. That was an actual scammer doing one of these grandparent scams. And we were able to watch it because somebody got into his webcam. This guy, Scam Sandwich is his name. And he got into the guy's webcam, and we were able to actually see him in action, right? But isn't it fascinating how that first 20 seconds where he impersonates the granddaughter, and he just impersonates someone that's distressed and crying, and it could be anybody's granddaughter. That's why people believe it. It could be anybody's granddaughter. You know, that sounds like that. Who just got into action. She's distressed and crying. You can't tell. It's 20 seconds, and then boom, next thing you know, you're talking to a police officer. So that's how these grandparent scams get initiated. And the guy we just watched, he's known as an opener, right? His job is to call up these victims and open the scam, to get them onto the hook, right? To trap them. Then he hands it off to closers. And the closers reach back out to the woman, and then they bleed her dry. These closers, they impersonate defense attorneys, police officers, court personnel. They just keep on naming agency after agency that needs to be paid until the victim has no more money left. So these scammers, they want to bleed your grandparents dry, right? They want to take their retirement savings. They want to take your inheritance too, by the way. If there's anything that your inheritance is going to be, the scammer is gladly to steal that too. So, you know, if you don't care about this stuff enough, you know, care about your family, at least care about it because maybe you'll lose out in the end because the scammer's taking what's coming to you. But anyway, we have this clip here, and it's from the New Jersey newspaper, and it actually talks a little bit about the grandparent scam that was happening in the Dominican Republic. And they arrested a few guys. I don't know if this guy was one of them, but it seems to match, you know, what they're talking about here. But this article gives us a little bit more details about what goes on behind the scenes. So, according to the indictment, the conspirators engaged in a long-running grandparent or family in need of bail scam against hundreds of seniors across the United States, including New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Massachusetts. As detailed in court filings, members of the conspiracy, referred to as openers, right, that's who we just watched, called elderly victims in the United States, impersonated the victim's children, grandchildren, or other close relatives. Typically, the victim was told that their grandchild had been in a car accident, was arrested in connection with an accident, and needed help. Right? So that's exactly what we just watched. Right? And then it says, once the openers tricked victims into believing their loved ones were in dire trouble, others working at the call centers, known as closers, allegedly impersonated defense attorneys, police officers, or court personnel, and convinced victims to provide thousands of dollars in cash to help their loved ones. All right, so that's how a grandparent scam works. And remember, you're up against a team of scammers. They work in teams. They do this for a living. They have scripts to read off. You know, they're professionals. They know what they're doing. So, important to be aware of that one. And also, one other thing to note. I don't know if you noticed when we played that video, but when he calls up and he impersonates the granddaughter at first, when he's like, "Mom, I'm in trouble," the grandmother replies, "Linda?" So she actually gave up the granddaughter's name to the scammer without realizing it, right? So she gave up the name, And now the scammer could turn around and be like, yes, this is in reference to Linda. So that goes back to that whole rule. Don't give out personal details or anything to unsolicited callers. And you don't even realize you're doing it sometimes, right? So all important to be aware of when it comes to scams. Let me know in the chat if you're watching. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. Hit the heart. Let's give see if we get some more people in here. We were going for a little bit longer. Definitely got probably at least another hour. Say hi on Facebook if you're watching. Say hi on Instagram if you're watching. We're on YouTube as well. Next scam we're going to talk about is fake order scams, sometimes called a fake purchase scam. This one's important to know about because we're actually being attacked from all angles. And what I mean by that is this scam, they'll use phone calls, they'll use text messages, they'll use emails. We're surrounded by this fake order scam. And how it works is victims receive a fake notification that an order was made under their account. When the victim calls to dispute the fake order, a scammer impersonates customer support and attempts to steal their personal and financial information. And even worse, they attempt to clear out your bank account. But the idea of this scam is you're notified that a purchase was made, whether it's an email or a text message or a phone call. Somebody might even call and say, hey, a purchase was made. And it's usually they'll say like an iPhone was purchased or some kind of expensive item was purchased. It's not true. It's a lie. But they'll say, call this number back to dispute it. And the idea is to trick the victim into thinking, oh, no, an iPhone was, I better call back. I didn't purchase an iPhone. I better call back. But if you call that number, you're actually connected to a scammer. And this one, I have some examples that I'm going to share with you here. So first, let's start with a text message example of this scam. And this is a pretty recent text message example. Multiple people sent me this one. So this one's pretty common. And last time we checked, we saw that reports were still coming in about this one. But this is an example of a fake order notification. In this case, they're impersonating Apple. You get a text message. It claims that a purchase of $143 was made on your Apple Pay. And then it says, call back immediately to cancel this charge. And it's got a fake phone number to call. Right? So the idea is they're trying to trick you into thinking you're calling Apple to dispute an order, but you're actually calling a scammer. So if you get this text message, be aware. Don't trust it. And this is one of those examples where if you wanted to confirm it's real, go check your account directly or go look up Apple's official contact information, reach out to them directly. But don't trust the information that you get in a text message like this. So again, this is an example of a fake order scam. And this is a text message version. But, like I mentioned, it's not just text messages that we're being targeted with by these fake order scams. Right? We're being targeted over the phone too. And I have two recordings that I'm going to play for you here that are examples of these fake order scams and phone calls that are actively circulating. Because these are robocalls. These are examples of robocalls. They're just calling hundreds of thousands of people all day long. And their goal is to trick people into pressing 1 to connect to a scammer or calling back to talk to a scammer. All right. So let's listen to our first example here. And this first one, they impersonate Amazon and they claim a MacBook Pro was purchased under your account. And that's how they're trying to trick you into calling back. So let's take a listen.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
What? $1,499? I better press 1 and talk to a customer service representative. All right? That's the reaction that the scammers want. But if you press 1, you're actually be connected to a scammer, and they'll impersonate customer support. But they'll go into a narrative. They'll say, oh, your identity's been stolen. Somebody has access to your accounts. We need you to move your money so it's safe. This is where you move your money to. And they go down this whole narrative. They're going to steal your money. But that's the whole point of these fake order scams, to trick you into pressing 1 to be connected to a scammer or calling back a number to be connected to a scammer. This one impersonated Amazon. It claimed a purchase for a MacBook Pro, $1,499. That's enough to freak somebody out, right? But if you get a message like this, specifically this message, it's 100% scam, this message. And in fact, we did a video about this scam, and we included that message. And just recently, within the past week, somebody left a comment saying they got this phone call. So these are all active scams that are currently circulating and important to be aware of. And let's listen to this second example of a fake order scam phone call. This one impersonates Walmart, and they claim that you purchased a PlayStation. And they use the same trick, whereas, call us back to dispute it, but it's a scam. So let's take a listen to that.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
Notice how it said return our call at same number? That's always a red flag. If they can't leave a real phone number behind and they tell you to call the number that's shown or call the number on caller ID, it's a huge red flag. It's a scam. So, but anyway, that recording, that was an example of a fake order scam. You get a phone call. It's a robocall. It's a recording, but it says you purchased a PlayStation for $859, and then call that number to dispute. If you call that number, it's a scam. You'll be connected to a scammer. They're going to try to steal. They're going to try to get into your bank accounts and steal all your money. So that was 2 phone call examples of fake order scam to be aware of. And the thing about fake order scams is they're tricky because the scammer could literally claim anything was purchased. They could impersonate any vendor, right? They could switch it up. So it's important to recognize the whole concept behind a fake order scam. This way you could recognize it no matter what they claim was purchased or who they claim to be. It's important that it clicks in your head, wait a minute, this could be a fake order scam. Let me go check my account directly and see if it says there was a purchase. Or let me go look up that real phone number of Amazon and call them. All right, but you don't want to trust phone calls like these. Also, last thing, regarding these fake order scams, I mentioned we were under attack from all directions, meaning phone calls, text messages, and emails. Let's talk about the email one for a bit. So we have a victim's story here. It's about a year old, this article. But it says a 23-year-old Lincoln woman reported losing $4,100 after falling victim to identity fraud scam in July. The scam began on July 17th with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. The woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase. Right, so let's stop right there. There's your fake order scam. She got an email. The email claims she purchased an iPhone. It's all, she didn't purchase an iPhone. There was no iPhone purchase. It's all a lie and part of the scam. But she gets the email, says, hey, you purchased an iPhone. Call this number to dispute the purchase. She called the number. She thought she's talking to Apple. She's actually talking to a scammer. All right, so that's how these fake order notifications work. They're meant to get you on the hook. They're meant to trap you, right? So now she's talking to these scammers. She thinks she's talking to Apple, right? That's when the scam evolves now. It progresses into something new. So let me tell you what happened, when she was talking to these people. So she gets the email. She calls up to dispute it. And while she's on the phone with the scammers, she was told she had multiple accounts open across various states. Someone was using her identity. Then the scammers connected the woman to a person posing as a CIA agent who instructed her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. Then the next day she was directed to use money to purchase Walmart gift cards and send photos and receipts. Additionally, the woman sent another $500 gift card to the scammers. Right, so scammers keep going. Once they get you, they keep going until you realize, either until you run out of money or until you realize it's a scam. But look, this is a great example of these fake order scams. She got the email, claimed that order was placed, it wasn't, tricks her into calling a number. But where's the red flag? Right? The gift cards. That's the red flag. We talked about that. So many victim stories. That's what comes up. She gets told to withdraw her money and then purchase gift cards. And that's a huge red flag. And a lot of times that's your last chance to get out of it. That's your big red flag there is when you hear gift cards mentioned. So, but anyway, that's what they do. They tell you that your identity's been stolen. Your money's not safe. You need to withdraw it. And then they usually tell you to purchase gift cards, or they'll do a lot of things now, actually. They got gift cards, cryptocurrency. Now they're saying gold and silver. They're having victims purchase gold and silver. Sometimes they have couriers come and pick up cash from victims. But in this case, it was gift cards. And that should have been a big red flag, or could have been a big red flag. So And that's why we do this live stream. You know, she had been one of our followers. She might have been more familiar with these fake order scams and, you know, the red flag of the gift cards. But look, I always commend these victims for sharing their stories, because people aren't nice to victims. They're not. They're not nice to these victims. They'll call them stupid. Oh, you shouldn't fall for that. I would never fall for that. You know, but so they get ridiculed. But I always commend and thank these victims for they come forward, they share their stories, right? Because by sharing their stories, they help the rest of the world not fall for their scams, and that's what matters, right? Like learning from your mistake and then helping other people learn too. At least that's my opinion on all this. But anyhow, that's a fake order scam. Watch out for it. Again, a fake order scam is when you receive a notification that an order was placed, email, text message, anything, right? It says an order was placed, and they try to trick you into calling a customer support phone number. It's actually a scammer. How we doing out there? Let me know if you're watching. All important stuff that we're going over here and sharing on this live stream. So hit that like button and make sure to follow, subscribe. Help us spread awareness about these scams. Next scam we're going to talk about, undeliverable package scams. That's right, Dave. Dave says, and the sad part is that many lose their entire life savings. And that's why I keep mentioning that and bringing that up, right? People lose their retirement funds, anything they got in the bank, right? You know, inheritances that are going to get left to you by family members are getting stolen by scammers. Like the scammers really want to take everything. They really do. And that's why awareness is so important as a preventative measure, because sadly, these victims, a lot of times, never recover the funds. You know, if these scammers trick you into withdrawing cash and purchasing gift cards, the bank doesn't consider that fraud. That's not considered fraud because you withdrew your own money, and then what you did with it afterwards, that's not their fault. So they wash their hands of it. So, you know, the banks, they try to make it sound like your money's insured and it's safe here and we got you. But in the situation of these scams where you're tricked into withdrawing the money, you're tricked into transferring the money, the banks, you know, too bad. Not our problem. They're not going to give you the money back. So let's talk about undeliverable package scams. This one's been picking up again. As the end of the year gets closer, it's going to pick up more. It always picks up during the holidays. So these undeliverable package scams, what they are is victims receive fake notifications about an undeliverable package and are asked to click a link to resolve. The link opens a fake website impersonating UPS, FedEx, and USPS. Any personal or financial details provided by the victim are stolen by the scammers. There never was a package. And this one always picks up during the holidays and towards the end of the year because there's a lot more packages being sent and received. And we've already started seeing more reports of this coming in, and it's picking up again. So it's important to be aware of these undeliverable package scams that impersonate UPS, FedEx. And really, the thing to keep in mind is they will never send you text messages like these. So that's how you know this is a scam. They will never send you text messages like these. If you want to get updates on a package delivery, you could go and request them on specific packages, but you're not going to get random text messages saying, "Hey, we couldn't deliver a package," or "Hey, we have a package here for you." It's not going to happen. It's a scam, right? And here's an example of one of that, and you can see it actually comes from an email. At the top, you can see it comes from some weird email address. It's not from UPS. But it says, UPS ground, reschedule your shipment delivery. And it says, we attempted to deliver your UPS package on June 20th, or 23rd. It's got the spelling there. There's a little grammar error. It says 23rd instead of 23rd. But we're unable to contact you, and the delivery could not be completed. Your package needs to be signed for in person, so please reschedule the delivery by doing the following. All right? And then it has a link to a fake website. And these guys are pretty clever. They actually put like the UPS.com in their address here to make it... They try to make it look legit, but it's not. You could tell, you read it a little bit further, you could tell it goes to a completely different site. But at first glance, you might not realize that, and you click it and give away your personal information. So that's one example, undeliverable package scam. Here's another one. Right? Due to invalid address, you have a package that needs to be delivered. If it has been suspended due to incorrect delivery address. So they get creative with them. They change the wording around a little bit. Here's an example where they create a group text and they named it to USPS, I guess to make it seem more legit or realistic. And it says, since the package does not have a house number, the package transportation is interrupted. Please update. And it's got the fake link to click. And there's a couple more examples. These two examples are of a text message that actually include a file attachment. Right, so this first one has an HTML file attached and has a USPS logo. Dear customer, your package has arrived at the distribution facility, but we were unable to deliver it due to incomplete address information. Please click on the HTML file above to update your address. Again, you'll never get notifications like this from UPS, FedEx, any of these guys. And never open attachments. This goes back to one of the first things we talked about when we started the live stream. Never open attachments from unknown and unsolicited communications, right? Because this is how you get malware installed on your device. And this example was an HTML attachment, and this example is a PDF attachment. All right, same deal, impersonates USPS, and your package has arrived, but we were unable to deliver it. Please open the PDF file attached. But it's a scam. Never open these files or trust them when they're from unsolicited communication. A fun story I do like to share about these undeliverable package scams, though, is there was an article about a year old. It was in Wired magazine. And it says, USPS text scammers duped his wife, so he hacked their operation. There we go, right? So we got a win there. We'll count that one as a win. So basically this husband, I guess he was an IT guy, knew his stuff. And his wife, she fell for one of these undeliverable package scams. But he didn't take it sitting down, and he hacked into their system. And what was interesting about this article is it told us a lot of little details from behind the scenes. So first of all, he discovered that in his case, these undeliverable package scam, it was a Chinese language based group, right? So it was a Chinese group, and they were sending out over 100,000 scam text messages per day, right? So that just gives you an idea of what these scammers are capable of. That was just one group, and they were sending out 100,000 scam text messages per day. These undeliverable package scams. So that just gives you an idea of what they're capable of. And if that was one group, I mean, you could easily say there's millions of scam text messages being sent a day. All right. He also found 438,669 unique credit cards were entered by victims. So that's almost 500,000 credit cards that these scammers were able to get from victims. 500,000 credit cards. All right, so it tells you why these scammers do what they do, because they're successful at it. It's working. He found that many people entered multiple cards. There were over 50,000 email addresses that were logged, including government and military email addresses. So like everybody was falling for this scam. Right. So I found this article a little fascinating. It gave you a peek behind the scenes of, one, what they were capable of, sending out hundreds of thousands of text messages a day. Two, how successful they were being by having almost 500,000 unique credit cards logged, right? And, military people falling for it, government people falling for it. So that was an undeliverable package scam. But again, I count this article as a win because this guy at least, got into their system, and using the information they found, like on the people who, entered their information. The article said that he did work with authorities to warn those people and let them know that, their billing details were stolen. And so some good came out of this article, at least. But it shined a light on a lot behind the scenes about what these guys are capable of and the level of success that they're having, right? And a couple other notes just regarding these undeliverable package scams. I showed you the text message version of that, where usually the goal is to get you to pay a redelivery fee, they say, but then they just steal whatever payment info you enter. But there was also an email version of this scam floating around last year. And look, as far as I could tell, we were the only ones to report about it here at Scamware 101. When we released the video, this was a Scamware 101 exclusive because nobody else was reporting on this specific variation of this scam. So, but let me show you the email version here. So you can see November 16th, 2024. The email comes in. During the holidays, Black Friday is coming up. They impersonate FedEx. We're sorry, your package appears to be delayed. We regret to inform you that there's been an issue with your delivery. And they say, as an apology, we'd like to offer you a compensation product up to $100 in value. Right? So that's the spin that this email variation of an undeliverable package. Instead of trying to get you to pay a redelivery fee, what they're saying is, hey, we got a free compensation product. Click here. Right? But if you click that link, what they're going to do is going to take you to a fake website, and the website's going to say, but you have to pay shipping. And I'll show you some examples of that. But this one steals your info by making you think you're going to get wireless earbuds for $8, right? So you put in your info thinking I'm getting a gift from FedEx, but it's a scam. FedEx, UPS, they don't offer gifts for packages being delayed. I wish they did, but they don't. And look, a week later, we got another email, November 22nd. You can tell it's the same scam, right? Except this one just says UPS. Same font, same narrative, but it impersonates UPS. We value your time, want to make things right. As an apology, we'd like to offer you a compensation product up to $100 in value. But it's a scam. You click that link, you're going to be taken to a fake website, and they're still going to try to get your credit card details. I'll show you some examples of those sites next, actually. But yeah, these undeliverable package scams. So that's the email version that was floating around last year. It popped up real quick for the holidays, and then it disappeared again. I think that was on purpose. I know it was on purpose because it's suddenly going to pop up again. In a couple of months, it's suddenly going to pop up again during the holidays. They're going to pop up again, take as much money as they can, and then disappear. This way, it's less likely people will be expecting it. But anyway, yeah. And the whole overall point of that is when it comes to email and text message scams, a lot of times they can just be if a scam can be sent in text message, it can be sent in email. If you send an email, it can be sent in text message. So if there's a text message scam, chances are there's an email version of that scam. Just like we showed you here. But really, the big takeaway is FedEx, UPS, USPS, they don't send text messages like that. They don't send emails like that. If you get any kind of notification that claims to be from UPS, FedEx, and be very, very, very suspicious, especially if it says it's in regards to the package and it wants you to click on something. And this one's coming. Again, this always picks up during the holidays, so be aware of this one. In the next couple months, we're going to start seeing a lot more undeliverable package scams, text messages and emails happening. Hey, if you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. We do this every week. Try to raise awareness and spread awareness of common scams that target individuals, right? That's one of the big things that separates us from all these other places that, all these other places, they focus on businesses and employee training and, because that's where the money's at. They know companies will pay for it. And whereas individuals, it's a little harder, right? So unfortunately, there's been a big gap left for scam awareness as far as individuals go. Grandmothers getting their life savings, scammed out of them. It's not right. And there needs to be more resources out there, warning people about this stuff, warning individuals about the scams that target them, right? And that's why we're here, and that's why we do this. So scamaware101.com, join our free mailing list. It's free to join. We'll let you know when we're going live. We'll keep sending you some tips and when we post new content. And follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. We're on all of them except TikTok. TikTok kicked us off like in less than 24 hours. It was crazy. I'll share that story sometime. But anyway, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, Blue Sky. We're most active on Facebook and YouTube though, so definitely follow us on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're watching, say hi in the chat. Let us know you're watching. Hit that thumbs up and give us a like if you haven't yet. The followers, subscribers, all likes. That's really helps us out. The next scam we're going to talk about is fake retail website scams. Let's bring that up here. So fake retail website scams. And before I even talk about this one, let me just throw this out there. It's important to realize that scammers put up websites. They put up fake websites like nothing. It's so easy for them to put up fake websites, and they have so many of them. If one gets taken down, they just use a different one. You really have to be suspicious of websites that you haven't used before, or new websites that you're unfamiliar with. Because these scammers, it's no big deal for them to put up websites. It really isn't. And they'll look legit. They'll impersonate. They already have the websites ready to go. They just keep on using the same websites. But you need to watch out for fake retail website scams. That's when scammers create fake websites to sell products that are never delivered. Victims are lured in by unbeatable deals and lose money once they pay. The scams often target holiday shoppers or those seeking trending items. So this is another example of a scam that it will pick up during the holidays. It's active all year round, but it definitely does pick up during the holidays. And we're already starting to see trending items, the fake websites popping up for trending items, like we talked about Labubus last week. Those little Labubu dolls that they're a hot item right now. There's so many counterfeit ones popping up and fake websites popping up selling those now. And it's just an example of how a trending item, the scammers, they're paying attention and they know what trending items to target victims with. All right, so they put up these fake retail websites. They list these trending items, and it tricks victims into something like just paying for shipping. A lot of times, that's the hook. And in fact, let me show you the examples now. And by the way, these examples that I'm going to show you, these are actually from the previous scam. If you had clicked on that link to get your free package, your free compensation product from FedEx, UPS, right, that scam we just talked about, this is actually where it would have taken you. So it would have taken you to a fake retail website. You can see the fake Black Friday banner up top. In this case, they're saying you could get a pair of wireless headphones worth $175 if you just pay shipping. $8.95, and you get these very valuable wireless earphones. All right, but it's a scam. If you any information you put in there, it gets stolen. It gets forwarded to the scammer. So any shipping details, any payment details, and that's how they trick you. A lot of times they'll make you think you're gonna get this amazing deal. Wow, I just paid $8. I'm gonna get a $200 pair of headphones, right? But that's where it goes back to these not trusting too good to be true offers, right? Especially if they're on websites that you've never used before. Here's another one. This one says a portable heater, and same deal. They say it's worth $175. Just pay shipping, $8.69. All right, but that's the scam. Any information you type in is going to get stolen. And here's one more example of these fake retail websites. Of course, you got the wireless earbuds, because that was a hot item. Probably still is, right? Wireless earbuds. And this is an example. Scammers put up this fake page. They say it's worth $175, but you're going to get it for $8.69. Just pay for shipping. But it's a scam. Any information you type in is going to get stolen. So always be aware of these fake retail websites. And there's many different ways that you could land on these fake retail websites, right? So we talked about those email scams, right? Those fake UPS, whatever email scams. But there's so many different ways that these fake retail websites get promoted by scammers. It could be any variation of email. You could get an email that says, here's a free gift, or thank you for being a valued customer, or special offer, right? It could be any various fake type of email that redirects you to these fake deals and fake retail websites. It could also be Google search results, right? These scammers, they will purchase search results from Google, sponsored listings, and they'll show up first. So you'll be searching for wireless earbuds, for example, maybe to buy for the holidays or as a gift for somebody, and you'll end up on this fake retail website. And then there's also social media ads. It's important to remember, scammers purchase social media ads just like anybody else. Facebook and other social media sites, they do a terrible job at reviewing ads. There's so many scam ads. So, you might see an ad that says, hey, just pay shipping. Here's your free earbuds. All right, but if you click that ad, it's all a scam. You'll end up on these fake retail websites. So be aware of that. Before you spend money on a site you're unfamiliar with, try to check, do your due diligence, see if other people left reviews about it, see if anybody's had any success purchasing off of it, see if anybody's reporting them as a scam. Be careful. So that's fake retail website scams. Hey, let me know if you're still watching. Say hi in the chat. We're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I see the viewer counts going up on Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, say hi. Let me know you're watching. Make sure to follow us. We're trying to get our followers up. All good stuff. We're trying to do something good, put something good out there in the world. Help people recognize the scams that are targeting them. So you can protect yourself, protect your loved ones, right? So give us a follow, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Help us spread awareness about these scams. We really, really appreciate it. It makes a difference. And don't forget to join our free mailing list. Go to scamaware101.com and hit join mailing list. We'll send you some useful scam awareness tips, reminders about when we're going live. We won't abuse the privilege. You can unsubscribe at any time, but I don't think you will. It's all good. So scamaware101.com, join mailing list. And hey, if you want to donate, we'll take donations too. scamaware101.com/donate. And we have super thanks and memberships enabled over on YouTube as well. So anything financially they want to throw in to help, we appreciate that too. Next scam we're going to talk about, the gift card received scams. And this is the digital version. So the way that these work is, victims receive an email notification that they received a gift card. When the victim attempts to activate the gift card by clicking a link, malware is installed on their device, or a fake website is opened to steal personal information. So, look, the whole point of this is if you get a random email that says, hey, you got a gift card, click here. Be suspicious. And here's an example of what it might look like. This one, you get an email, comes in, looks like it's from Venmo. Your $50 gift card is here. And it says your company has given you an employee rewards card. Activate your card today. So what you would do in this situation, instead of just blindly clicking a link and risking clicking a malicious link, you would reach out to the person who this is supposedly from. So in this case, it says it's an employee rewards card. So you'd reach out to your employer and ask them, hey, did you send me an employee rewards card? Right? And if anybody's sending you a gift card, you're going to want to say thanks anyway, right? So reach out to whoever it's supposedly from. If it said it was from a family member, reach out to the family member first. And then confirm they actually sent it to you and then say thanks. It's two for one, right? But you want to confirm before trusting these links. Because you could click that link and next thing you know, you're giving up your personal information on a fake website that looks like Venmo. And then next day your employer says, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't send you anything. So be suspicious of those gift card received emails. And that's the first batch of common scams that we talk about on a live stream. We talk about 20 different types of scams. Like we really go down and show the examples, go into details about them. So we usually go about through 20 of them. And that was the fifth. Wow, we're right on schedule too. 8:01, so 8 o'clock. The next batch of scams we're going to talk about is snail mail scams. Because believe it or not, scammers still use the traditional mail through the postal service to send out their scams. They didn't go anywhere. That's what they did before the internet was around, and they didn't stop. I'm going to show you some examples of these snail mail scams. They're still all active. The examples I'm going to show you, they're all relatively recent and actively circulating. So we mentioned about a free, the free gift card received email version of that scam, right? We just talked about the gift card received email scam, but let's talk about the snail mail scam version of that. How this works is you get a postcard in the mail. It says you got a free gift. And it's got a QR code to scan. All right, so it's a free gift scam. And you get this postcard offering you a free gift. If you scan the QR code or you follow the instruction to activate it, usually you're going to get some malware installed on your device or your information is going to get stolen, whatever you enter. All right, so you have to be suspicious about any of these types of free gift offers that you get in the mail. Here's an example of what one might look like. And you notice that it has the wireless Bluetooth earbuds again. Same type of example we showed you on the fake retail website because it's a trending item. Right? That's an example about how these scammers, they seek out the trending items and they use them in their scams. But this is an example of a postcard. You might get it in the mail offering you free wireless earbuds. It has a QR code to scan. But in this case, if you scan that QR code, you're going to be taken to a fake website that tries to take your personal details, name, address, your Amazon account information, and even your credit card number. So be suspicious of free offers that you receive in the mail, especially when they have QR codes to scan. And also on the topic of QR code scams, let's talk about those for a couple minutes. We mentioned them earlier at the start of the live stream when we talked about common scam starting methods, right? And we talked about QR code scams. And there's so many variations of these scams going around, QR code scams, but one of the big ones is a parking scam, right? So a lot of these parking meters now, they have QR codes that you can scan, and it brings up the parking app on your phone to pay. What these scammers are doing is they're replacing those codes. They're taking stickers and they're putting them on top of the QR codes. They're taking their own QR codes and sticking them on top. So you'll scan these QR codes to pay for your parking. You're actually going to take into a fake website that steals your payment details. So that's one common QR code scam that's floating around now. But there's so many to be aware of, right? That free gift postcard, right? It has a QR code to scam. We know scammers are hanging flyers up in public. We know they're sending QR codes through emails and text messages because the QR codes get past the spam filters, right? So you have to be suspicious of QR codes all around, especially when it comes to the snail mail and getting letters in the mail or postcards in the mail offering you things. Be very suspicious and careful when you scan QR codes in public. But let's continue with these snail mail scams here. Again, if you're watching, let me know. Say hi in the chat. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet. Give us a like, a follow, subscribe. It'll help us spread awareness there. But the next snail mail scam we're going to talk about is inheritance scams. So victims are contacted with claims of a large inheritance from an unknown relative, but to claim it, they must pay fees or provide personal details. These scams exploit curiosity and greed to steal money and identity information. I don't know about greed, but... So, here's an example of an inheritance scam letter. And this is an actual letter. You see it's dated November 29th, 2024. So it's not even a year old yet. This is a pretty recent scam. And this is a letter that's floating around, impersonating a law office. It has the fake letterhead, the logo up top, looks pretty legit. And what it does is it claims that someone sharing the same last name as you passed away from COVID-19 about 4 years ago. And you're entitled to a $10.8 million inheritance on their life insurance policy, apparently. And this law office, they're offering to facilitate the whole thing for you. And then, of course, it gets to the end and it says, this claim requires a high level of confidentiality. And it might take up to 30 business days. Right? But there's that red flag that we talked about earlier about the asking for confidentiality. Who are they? If you want to tell someone about an inheritance that you're getting, who are they to request confidentiality, tell you not to? Right? So that's a big red flag. The only reason they're telling you to keep it confidential is because it's a scam and they don't want anybody to point that out to you. But this is a real example of a fake inheritance scam letter. It's actively circulating, right? November 29th. It's not even a year old. And what's interesting about the scam is the person's addressed to, what the scammers do, they make it match the name of the person that supposedly passed away. So if we Google this letter, we find tons of other people reporting this exact same scam letter. It's just the only difference is they switch the names out to match where they're sending it to. But that doesn't make it any more real. It might make it more believable, but it's not. So be aware of the scam. Make sure your loved ones are aware of the scam. A lot of people, they'll tend to trust letters in the mail more because, they arrive directly at your house, right? It's more personalized. So they're less likely to think it's a scam. But again, it goes back to one of those key concepts that we started the live stream talking about. You must assume every unsolicited communication is a scam until verified not to be. So, but anyway, yeah, this is an example of an inheritance scam, snail mail letter. There's email versions of this too, this scam. if you get a letter like this, be aware it's a scam. Don't fall for it. Next scam we're going to talk about. Sometimes it's referred to as a secret survey check scam, but I think people are more familiar with the term secret shopper scam. Right? And we did a video about this one too, so make sure to check this one on our YouTube channel as well. But how this secret shopper scam works is you receive this letter in the mail, and it says, you've been selected to be a secret shopper, right? And you've been assigned a secret survey assignment. But included in the envelope will be a physical check. So people will see this and think, wow, I got the check in hand. This is all good, right? But it's not. Because people don't realize when you deposit a check, it could take a couple days before you find out it's fake. And that's how this scam works. What this letter does is it basically says, you've been selected as a secret shopper. Here's a $2,480 check. And it instructs the victim to go out and purchase $2,000 worth of gift cards. Right? There's that red flag, gift cards. Right? It instructs them to go purchase $2,000 worth of gift cards. And they can keep the $480 for himself as a commission. And it instructs me, deposit the check and then go purchase the gift cards. And it tries to push them to do it within 12 to 24 hours. Right? But the reason why is because they know once that check's deposited, the clock is ticking. Right? It's a matter of time until the bank says, hey, it's not a good check. But they know they usually get 24, 48 hours before that happens. So they tell the victim, deposit the check, go purchase these gift cards, send us the gift cards, keep the commission for yourself. Right? Sounds pretty straightforward. But what really happens is the victim purchases the gift cards, sends them to the scammer, right? Thinks that he's got an extra $480 in his account now. But then 2 days later, the bank says, hey, that check was no good, right? Suddenly, $2,000 disappears from your account. There was no commission. And the scammers are long gone with the gift cards that you sent them. And you're left, being out of $2,000. That's how this scam works. And what we're looking at here is one letter, one version of a letter that you get for these mystery shopper scams. And what's interesting about this letter is it instructs the victim to purchase Apple gift cards or Razer gift cards or Nike gift cards or Steam gift cards. Right? It instructs them to purchase, those 4 types of gift cards. And it tells them to go to either Walgreens or CVS. But there's another version of this that's floating around though. So here's the other version of this letter. And it also comes with a check included. But what's funny about this letter, this scammer only wants Apple gift cards. It instructs the victim to go buy 3 Apple gift cards. But he gives the victim a lot more choice of stores. Right? It says go to Walgreens, Best Buy, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, Family Dollar, Meijer, Kroger, Safeway, Dollar General, Walmart, Speedway, Albertsons. So the scammer gives the victim a lot more choices in this example. But he only takes Apple gift cards. But again, there's a red flag though. There's the gift card red flag. Receiving the check, an unsolicited check that you weren't expecting in the mail, that's a red flag, right? And if you deposit this check, once it bounces, the bank's gonna hit you with a fee too. So on top of getting scammed out of $2,000, the bank's gonna hit you with like a $35 fee for depositing a bad check, just to add insult to injury. And that's how these secret shopper scams work. And these letters, people are getting them. I mentioned earlier we did a video about this one, on our YouTube channel. And recently, people have recently left comments saying, hey, I got this letter the other day. So it's active. And now we're coming up to the second break of our live stream here. Wrapping up the second portion. How are we all doing out there? Let me know if you're watching. Give us a like if you haven't yet. Hit some of those hearts, hit the thumbs up. Now share your experience. I want to hear from you. What scams you've been getting targeted with and noticing. What trends are popping up over there. You have any friends falling for scams? And that's the worst. When your friends and family members are falling for scams and you're telling them, hey, this is a scam, but they're not listening. Share your story. Sadly, I think a lot of people are in that situation. But that's when you send them over here, Scamware 101, and tell them to watch some videos, man. Watch some videos and snap out of it. Stop falling for the scam. All right, we're going to take another quick 5 minutes, and then we're going to continue the live stream. Last portion of the live stream, uninterrupted. So go fill up your Scamware 101 coffee mug. It's kind of late, so if you want to drink water instead of coffee, it's probably the wiser thing to do. And we're going to be back in 5 minutes, and we're going to be talking about some more common scams. We've got arrest warrant scams, bank impersonation scams, tech support scams. That's an important one. Lots of examples I'm going to show you of tech support scams. So stay tuned. All right, we're going to be back in 5 minutes to continue the live stream. All right, everybody, how we doing? I'm back, and we're going to continue the rest of the live stream uninterrupted without further interruption. If you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. We do this live stream every week to try and spread awareness of common scams that you should be aware of to protect yourself and protect your loved ones. Because these scammers, they're a big problem. They're a big problem. They're clearing out everybody's bank accounts. They want to take everything you got. And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. All right, write that down. Words to live by. So we're going to continue talking about some common scams here. Got a nice batch coming up right here. Say hi in the chat. Let us know you're watching. So this next scam we're going to talk about is arrest warrant scams. We did a video about this one too. You should check out that video. We included some clips from local warnings from law enforcement. But basically, the way arrest warrant scams work is a victim is contacted by a scammer impersonating law enforcement. The scammer claims an arrest warrant was issued and fines must be paid to resolve it. The scammer then threatens the victim with arrest if fines aren't paid immediately. All right, so you get a call out of the blue, and this is one of those examples where when you get this phone call, the caller ID will show the sheriff's phone number or whatever law enforcement agency is being impersonated. That's something important to realize, is that scammers manipulate the caller ID. They can show whatever phone number and name that they want. So do not trust caller ID. It's not a valid way to verify who you're talking to. And a lot of times, scammers will use that to their advantage. They'll say, hey, look, the phone number on your caller ID, it matches the bank's phone number, right? See, we're the bank. But it's a scam. All right, so definitely be aware of that. And again, these arrest warrant scams, these scammers are known to use the same tactic where they'll show the sheriff's phone number on your caller ID while they impersonate the sheriff. And this could be a scary situation, right? They're threatening. They're saying, hey, you missed jury duty, and we're going to send deputies over there to arrest you right now, right, if you don't pay. So it could be a scary situation. But that's the whole point. That's how these arrest warrant scams work. So keep that in mind. If you get some random call, claiming there's going to be a warrant issued for your arrest. And there's some key takeaways about arrest warrant scams to keep in mind, right? So again, scammers manipulate the phone number shown on caller ID. It's always important to remember. That's why you always have to hang up and call officials, call official sources and verify. Because you have no legit way of knowing. The caller ID shows that it's them. They claim that it's them. You have to hang up and verify. Call the actual number and verify. These scammers have been known to actually provide fake paperwork to convince victims that an arrest warrant is real. Right? So you get one of these calls and the scammer will say, hey, I'll email you the paperwork. But you can't trust that either. Right? If someone urges you to make immediate payment over the phone, it's always a red flag. Right? And if you find yourself in a situation where you get a phone call and they're claiming that a warrant's issued or going to be issued for your arrest, right? What you do is ask for the name of the organization that issued the warrant or is going to, right? And then hang up and call the organization directly. Right? Do not engage with the scammer who contacted you. And in the case of arrest warrants, it's very unlikely that law enforcement is going to call you. They're either kicking your door to come and get you or you got to get notice in the mail, right? So, but that's why you have to be suspicious. You have to assume every unsolicited communication is a scam. Even if the phone number looks like it's legit and the caller sounds legit, you have to hang up and verify. So that's arrest warrant scams, sometimes referred to as jury duty scams, because they'll say that you missed jury duty, and that's why there's going to be a warrant. So keep that in mind. And it's that narrative that should set off alarm bells in your head if you find yourself in that situation. Next scam we're going to talk about here is bank impersonation scams. This one's important to be aware of. It's extremely common. Scammers like to impersonate the bank because as soon as they fool you, they pretty much have free reign to go into your bank account. They think, you think you're talking to your bank, and they're asking you all this personal information and details. And so basically, these bank impersonation scams. Scammers impersonate the bank, usually claiming suspicious activity was detected under a victim's account. Victims are then tricked into withdrawing and transferring funds to the scammers impersonating their bank. The caller ID might even display the bank's phone number, even though it's a scammer. Right? And this is one of those scams that we know that the scammers, they're showing the bank's phone number when they call. In fact, here's an example of one of their text messages. There's a text message from a scammer. They're trying to impersonate TD Bank. And what's interesting about this example, the person that provided it to me, right before she got this text message, she received a phone call, and the caller ID said TD Bank, it had their number, right? She didn't answer, but the caller ID showed TD Bank's info, Right? And after she didn't answer, she got this text message. So that shows you how determined that these scammers are, right? They didn't just give up when you didn't answer the phone, right? They sent out a text message immediately after. Right? And you can see this one. It says, verified TD Bank card activity. Did you attempt a transaction for $250 at Walgreens? Reply yes if recognized or no if not. Right? So they're trying to trick the victim into replying to them. Once the victim replies, eventually they're going to try to get her onto the phone, and they're going to start telling her, your money's not safe, you need to move it. But they tried through phone first, then they immediately sent a text message. And there's a couple red flags about this text message to keep in mind too. And we confirmed these red flags with the bank. I have to slow down on the coffee. It's getting late over here. Switching to water. But you still get a Scamware 101 coffee mug from our store. But anyway, a couple of red flags about this text message, though. And we confirmed these red flags with the bank. If this had really been from the bank, it would have indicated what account it was referencing. Meaning it would have had like the last 4 digits of the account. It would have been more clear about which bank account it was referencing. The second red flag was the capitalization is a little off. The T in transaction is capitalized for no reason. The N in not is capitalized for no reason. Right? Just the capitalization is off a little bit. And that's always a red flag when you see capitalization mistakes, spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, things like that. It's becoming less common because of AI, but still, it's a red flag when you see it. And the third red flag was it actually came from a real phone number. See from the top, it actually came from a 9-digit phone number. If this had been from the bank, it would have been one of those short codes. It would have came from like a 5-digit phone number. Sometimes you get text messages that come from short codes instead of full numbers. In a bank's case, this would have came from a short code. So those were all red flags that indicated this text message wasn't really from the bank. But it's a good example. It shows you how persistent they are. They tried the phone first, then they tried text message. They had the caller ID. They spoofed the caller ID to show the bank when they called. Right? So these guys are good. These scammers are good. They're convincing. They're clever. You need to watch out for them. Don't underestimate them. And then the last thing we have regarding these bank impersonation scams is we have this victim's story. That's kind of want to go over and share with you here. I feel so stupid. This young Connecticut woman had her bank account drained by scammers after answering trusted Wells Fargo number. And again, it doesn't matter what bank you use. The scammers are they'll impersonate it. When Charlotte picked up her phone after getting a call from her bank, the Connecticut woman had no idea that fateful choice would wind up with her crying in the parking lot of a Wells Fargo branch. I did everything they said to do, and they literally drained my bank account, she explained. Right? That's what they do. Again, these scammers, they don't just take $100. They try to clear you out. And in her case, so she said, I got a call from a Wells Fargo number saying that I had fraudulent activity on my account, right, the bank scam, and that a random person was being sent money from Zelle, she recalled. They told me go onto my account and I needed to secure my Zelle on my end by sending money that would go back to my account right after. It sounds suspicious, but again, she thinks that she's talking to her bank. She saw Wells Fargo on her caller ID. So, sounds strange, but hey, my bank's telling me to do this. Right? But that's how they tricked her. They tricked her into sending money with Zelle. Which, by the way, that's a red flag too. If some stranger is telling you to send the money with Zelle, be suspicious, especially when it's a large sum like this. And it's all because you trusted the caller ID. And it was a bank impersonation scam. They were impersonating Wells Fargo. So be aware of that stuff. It's important. By the way, if you're just joining us from the West Coast, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. Say hi in the chat. Let us know you're watching. Next scam we're going to talk about here is tech support scams. So, tech support scams are when victims receive a fake virus alert on their device and are tricked into calling a fake tech support phone number. The victim is unknowingly connected to a scammer who requests access to their device. The scammer then steals personal financial information from the victim. So these tech support scams usually is fake virus alerts that pop up that tricks people into calling them. But there have been cases where these scammers, they'll call up a victim on the phone directly, and they'll say, I'm calling from Microsoft or I'm calling from McAfee, and they'll try to trick the victim that way. But most commonly is these fake virus alerts that pop up that you have to watch out for. And these fake virus alerts, they pop up, they say, you're infected with a virus, call this number. You call the number, it's going to be a scammer. And we have some examples to show you. And usually I include a few generic ones, but I'm just going to skip right to the convincing examples here. So there's a fake virus alert that impersonates McAfee antivirus. Right? That's a pretty good impersonation. It's got their logo, their colors. And if somebody had McAfee on their computer, they might get tricked by this because they know they have McAfee, right? No, I'm getting a pop-up. But the thing about this virus alert is it's fake, and you could tell because it actually has a phone number to call. A real virus alert wouldn't have a phone number to call. So that's the big red flag when it comes to these fake virus alerts. It has a phone number, it's a scam. All right, so let me show you another fake virus alert. This one impersonates Norton by Symantec. And again, you're just browsing the internet, minding your own business, and boom, you get one of these pop-ups. And just the same way, system critically infected. All right, this is a call a support line, but it's a fake support number. If you call it, it's a scam. And here's one that impersonates Windows Defender. It's got the Microsoft logo, Windows Defender logo. It says Microsoft. Right, that's pretty convincing. The capitalization is a little off. They capitalized the S over here in Microsoft, so that's a red flag. But other than that, it's pretty convincing. And if you call that number, it says contact Windows support. Access to this PC has been blocked. Right? But if you call that number, you'll be connected to a scammer. And the thing to keep in mind about these tech support scams, these fake virus alerts, is everybody's susceptible to them. And what I mean to that is that it doesn't matter if you're on a Windows device, a Mac device, your iPhone, your work computer. If you're browsing the internet, you get one of these fake virus alerts. Here's an example of one that targets Safari users and Mac users. Big scary letters. Virus found. Your Mac computer has 13 infections. Over here has a list of all these scary things that are going to happen. Data at risk. Credit card details, email password, Facebook, private photos. And it says, call this number. Please call tech support as soon as possible. It's a scam. You're actually be connected to scammers. And look, a lot of older folks fall victims to this one. So make sure that your older loved ones are aware of this one. There's another one. Impersonates Apple Care. Warning, macOS is infected with viruses and other malicious applications. Please call Apple support. But it's a fake phone number. You call that number, it'll be connected to a scammer. Here's one more example. Impersonating Apple. I got the Apple logo there. Warning, macOS is infected with spyware and other malicious applications. Call the Apple helpline. But again, it's a scam. If you call that number, you'll be connected to a scammer. They'll impersonate support. They'll claim that they're going to help you with the virus, but they're going to try to get onto your device and steal all your personal details, access your bank accounts, and clear you out. So watch out for these fake virus alerts. They're very common. They're known as tech support scams. And look, it'd be scary. Victims get these big scary pop-ups and they just call the number. You know, they react quickly, and that's why these scammers do that. They want to cause fear. They want to cause urgency, and that's why these tech support scams are so successful with. Next scam we're going to talk about here is road toll scams. Let me know in the chat if you've gotten any of these road toll due text messages. So basically, how these road toll scams work? Scammers impersonate road toll services. EasyPass, SunPass, Fast Track. They've upgraded. Now they impersonate DMV, the Toll Enforcement Authority. There's nobody to impersonate at this point. But basically, you get these text messages, and they claim you have an unpaid toll due. And it includes a link to pay, right? But if you click that link, it's going to open a fake website designed to steal any information you enter. And these road toll scams, very, very common. And we're going to see more during the holidays, right? As travel picks up for the holidays, we see these. In fact, you might see these pick up this weekend. Hey, listen, be aware of these road toll scams this weekend, because you got the Memorial or Labor Day weekend coming up, right? It's going to be a 3-day weekend, or what is it, next week, this week? I don't know, whatever week it is, next week, this week, whatever that 3-day weekend coming up is, keep it in mind. Holiday travelers, these road toll scams start picking up. And people fall for them because they were traveling. They think, oh, I was traveling for a holiday. I did go visit somebody the other day. Right? But it's a scam. So examples of this. And there's so many variations. Barbara, thank you. Thank you for confirming. I've had all of these scams come our way. That confirms that we're focusing on the right scams. Because these are all active, they're all circulating, and it's important to be aware of them. So even though you're aware of most of these, I'm glad that you're confirming that we're covering scams that people are receiving, right? And that are important to be aware of. Here's an example of the one that impersonates SunPass here. Please pay your toll in Florida by January 22nd in order to avoid excessive late fees, potential legal action, right? All this scary stuff. And by the way, here's a red flag. Also, when it comes to these text messages, see at the end it has this instruction. It says, please reply yes, then exit and reopen. That's a big red flag that is from a scammer. And you're going to see a couple more examples where this instruction is at the end of it, right? And the scammers want you to reply because they want to know your number's active, right? So, but then the other thing is when you reply and reopen a text message, it'll activate the link. So it makes it even easier for you to click on that fake link. So a lot of times scammers include this instruction at the end that says reply and reopen. So that's always a big red flag if you get a text message that contains that instruction. Let me share a couple more examples of these fake road toll scams. This one impersonated Easy Drive, Massachusetts. Reminder, your bill for $6.99 is due soon. It's got the fake website to visit, and then you notice that instruction at the end, right? Please reply yes and reopen. Sometimes these messages, they come from phone numbers outside of the United States. In this case, it came from the 63 prefix, which is the Philippines, I believe. Right? But other times they come from U.S. numbers as well. So you really can't judge based on that. If it comes from outside of the U.S. or it comes from an email, you can pretty much guarantee it's a scam. But when it comes from inside the U.S., that doesn't mean you could trust it anymore. Here's an example of this fake road toll scam. It just comes with an attachment, right? I showed you how the undeliverable package scams, how some versions of that just came with an attachment. This does the same thing. You get this random text message, doesn't even say what it's about, comes from a U.S. number, and has a PDF file attached. All right. Never open an unexpected attachment from somebody, whether it's an email or a text message. If you weren't expecting it, don't open it. Because we open it, so you don't have to. So if you did open this link, it would have looked like this. Right? It opens up this PDF file. I'm sorry, if you open up the attachment. This is what the PDF file would look like. Toll violation notice. And this whole long letter about how you violated a toll. It doesn't say where, though, which is interesting. But then it's got the Pay Now link at the bottom. And they're impersonating the Toll Enforcement Authority, I think is who they're impersonating. Yeah, at the bottom here, Toll Enforcement Authority. I don't even know if that's a real organization. But it's just another way to get past the filters. They send you a text message with an attachment, and inside the attachment, it's got the Pay Now link. But look, they could have installed malware on your device, though. The attachment could have been much worse than containing a link. So never open attachments from unsolicited contacts. But you could see how these scammers get creative, right? They send you all different variations of text messages. They'll send you attachments. And this scam, this really evolved. We released a video about this scam in the middle of last year. And it's really evolved a lot since then. There's so many different variations. At this point, any text message you get that claims you have an unpaid toll due, don't trust any links in it. Don't trust any contact info in it. Right? If you're concerned it's real, go look up the agency's official website and check there. But you can't trust any text message that claims you have unpaid toll. And the same goes for traffic tickets. Because this unpaid road toll scam, it actually evolved a little bit. It evolved into this different, like it's a traffic ticket scam now, where they'll say you have an unpaid traffic ticket, and to click here to pay it, and it works just the exact same way. In fact, let me just show you an example of that. All right, notice this one came from the Philippines too. All right, +63. So the groups behind a lot of these scams, they're similar or it's one group behind multiple scams. But there's definitely something going on with these Philippine phone numbers. But anyway, so we're talking about unpaid road toll scam, but it's kind of evolved into unpaid traffic ticket scam, right? Because this text message is floating around now, and this example is from Illinois, but it doesn't matter. They fill in different states, right? So this one says from the Illinois Department of Vehicles, DMV. Final notice, enforcement of penalties began July 25th, right? This is a very recent example. Our records show that as of today, you still have an outstanding traffic ticket. If you do not complete payment by July 24th, we will take the following actions. Right? And then there's a whole list of scary stuff that's going to happen to you. Right? Report to the DMV, suspend your registration, driving privileges, charge you a 35% service fee, prosecute you, and also affect your credit card. All scary stuff, right? And it says click here, of course, to pay. But it's a fake link, and they're going to steal your info. Notice the bottom. There's that instruction at the bottom. Reply yes and reopen. Right? Red flag. But look, this is the version that says Illinois Department, right? But look, here's the exact identical text message. Nebraska Department of Vehicles. So these scammers, they just fill in the date, they hit go, and boom, hundreds of thousands of these text messages go out. So don't trust text messages that claim you have an unpaid ticket. Don't trust text messages that claim you have an unpaid toll. They're scams, and if you're concerned that they're real, go verify through legit sources, but don't click the links and don't trust any contact info provided. How we doing out there? Let me know if you're watching. I know Barbara's still there. I appreciate you. Thank you for engaging in the chat and talking. We're actually going to go over 2 more scams, and then we're going to wrap the live stream up because we'll be at about 3 hours. Not bad. I try to go for a minimum of 3. Sometimes we have 4 hours, but that's not happening tonight. We'll go for 3 hours tonight. So we're going to wrap up probably like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes at 9 o'clock. Let's see how long it takes to get through these last 2 scams here. But still plenty of time to hit that like button. If you're just joining us, hit that like button. Like, follow, subscribe. It really helps. And make sure to join our free mailing list, right? Scamaware101.com. Hit join mailing list. We'll send you reminders when we're going live. We'll just let you know when we post new content. We won't abuse the privilege. You can unsubscribe at any time. But really, we don't send you junk mail. We only send you stuff that's worth receiving. And we'll gladly accept a super thanks on YouTube. We have some memberships. We just enabled memberships on YouTube if you want to support us that way. And there's always, you can donate directly. Scamaware101.com/donate. So we appreciate it all. Everything helps. Next scam we're going to talk about here. Wrong number scams. So we did a video about wrong number scams and released it on YouTube, of course. And it's actually our first video to get 100,000 views. It's crazy. I still can't believe we got 100,000 views, but it did. So yeah, it's a popular video. So wrong number scams. Scammers reach new victims by sending text messages to random phone numbers. When someone replies wrong number, the scammer attempts to continue the conversation and build a trust with the victim. As trust is gained, this type of scam evolves into romance or pig butchering scam that ultimately steals money from the trusting victim. So look, let me break that down for you. You ever wonder why you get so many wrong number text messages? Because it's a scam, right? At the very least, they're probing. They're just trying to find active phone numbers that people replied to and would answer, right? And that's at the very minimum. At the worst, what they're trying to do is they're trying to find a new victim, someone they could start a conversation with, befriend, and then eventually hook them into a romance or pig butchering scam where they steal their money. So let me show you some examples of these text messages. And the thing about wrong number scams, they could start in so many random ways. Like literally any random text message could start because the goal is to have you reply saying, who is this? Or wrong number. So they can literally start with anything. It could start with a text message, excuse me, is this Emma? No, sorry, wrong number. Oops, you just failed, right? Hey, Anna, I'm Josie. Nope, not Anna, wrong number. Oops, you just failed. You replied, right? Or it just starts with a text that says, hi. Who is this? Oh, you just fell for it. You replied back, right? So that's what's so tricky about these wrong number scams. Look, I don't even reply to wrong numbers. If it seems like a legit wrong number text, I don't care. I don't reply. Can't do it. Can't do it. There's too many scams out there. You know, you want to be, I get it. You want to be kind. You want to be nice. I want to reply and let the person know they got a wrong number, but 99% of the time it's going to be a scam and it's not worth it. So if someone's really got a wrong number, they'll figure it out. They'll realize they got a wrong number. But let me show you how this conversation might progress, how these wrong number scams progress. All right. You can start off with just something like, I'm Margaret. Are you Lillian? Person replies back, I'm Izzy. Scammer says, I'm really sorry. I think I made a mistake between your number and Lillian's number. Hope I didn't disturb your good day. Right? Guy replies back, that's okay. At that point, text messages stop. Right? It's been established. Wrong number. Right? But because it's a scam, the scammer's going to keep going. They're going to start asking information about you. Thank you for your understanding and patience. You're a kind person. I hope you have a good day today. I'm 36 years old. Would you mind telling me your age? Right? So this one progresses to try and ask their age. And after that, they're going to ask location. You know, they try to learn about the victim. And then they decide how to proceed with the scam. Let me show you another example. Get a random text message. Have a cup of coffee together sometime. Right? Person replies back, who is this? Well, now you just fell for it because now you're engaging with a scammer. Right? Scammer replies back something about, I thought you were my friend Laura or whatever. Right? Victim replies back, yeah, wrong number. At that point, it should stop. Right? There shouldn't be any more conversation. But scammer replies, I'm sorry, I thought this was Laura's number. I think I dialed the wrong number. I hope I'm not bothering you. Victim replies back, nah, you're good. Have a good day. Right? Again, it should stop. It's been established. Wrong number. No reason to keep going. But it's a scam. So, thank you for your kindness to my situation. I just realized I entered the wrong area code. Where are you from? Right? So now the scammer's trying to find out where the person's from. Right? Last example, they asked age. This one they asked where you're from. They're going to ask all that no matter what. It's going to evolve into that. But that's what they do. I have another example to share with you here. Here's one that just started with hi. Right? Get a random text message. Hi. Reply back. Hi, who's this? I'm Karina. Are you David? We met last week at Linda's party. You picked this number for me. Nah, yeah. I'm sorry, you had the wrong number. Right? At that point, you should stop. Shouldn't be any more replies. Been established. Wrong number, but it's a wrong number scam. So, scammer replies back, oh my gosh, I checked and found out I entered the wrong area code. Hope this doesn't bother you. I reply back, that's okay, no problem. Again, should be it. Should be over. Scammer keeps going. Thank you very much. You're a very friendly and polite person. I hope we could be friends. Nice to meet you. My name is Karina. What can I call you? All right, we reply back, Pat. Because, you know, it could be a guy, it could be a girl. If we would mess with them. And they said, you have a beautiful name. I'm from Malaysia, currently living in Los Angeles. Where do you live? All right. So you can see how the conversation progresses. They ask your name. They ask where you live. Next, they're going to ask my age. All right. And then eventually, at some point, they're probably going to ask you to start talking on WhatsApp. Remember that red flag we talked about earlier? The common red flags? This is an example of where eventually they're going to ask you to, hey, let's keep talking on WhatsApp. I have one more example to share with you of these wrong number scams. Look, sometimes they include a picture, right? This is one that was sent to me. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. And they send me a picture, right? And you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get some guys replying. We know what they're up to, right? So the text comes in at 1:58 p.m., right? I ignored the text. 4 hours later on the dot, there's a follow-up text. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? Right? So there's a couple things to learn from this example, right? One, they'll send pictures. They'll send pictures to try to give you more of a incentive to reply or whatever, right? But two, this is a bot. This isn't a real person sitting here sending out text messages one by one. This is a bot, right? It sends out this text message, hundreds of thousands of people, right? These groups, we know it can send out hundreds of thousands of text messages, right? So this text goes out to 100,000 people, and if you don't answer, 4 hours on the dot, that bot's going to send you the follow-up. Hey, have you gotten the pictures I sent? All right, so a lot of times the way this scam works is the initial conversation is a bot, and the bot just gathers the basic information, and then eventually a real scammer takes over. But it's an example of how scammers use the latest technology. They use AI, right? This picture, is it even a real person? It could be generated with AI. So, also, by the way, we mentioned that this wrong number scam, the video we did, got 100,000 views. And one of the comments that's been left many times is that people confirm they got this exact same text message, exact same picture. All right, so this one's circulating. Be aware of it. And if any of your friends come around and tell you, hey, I met this amazing woman. Look at this woman that texted me, right? And now she has me trading cryptocurrency. It's a scam, man. Show them the wrong number scam video. So anyway, that's a wrong number scam. Important to be aware of that one. Go check out the video we released. 100K views, so people like it. It's worth checking out. Or our YouTube channel. Which, by the way, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe, like, help us spread awareness about these scams. And we just crossed the 3-hour mark here. And we're going to go over one more scam, and then we're going to get this wrapped up. Let me know if you're still with me. Let's see who hung out the whole time. Let me know in the chat if you're still tuning in. Hit that heart. So the next and last scam we're going to talk about this evening. Employment scams. In this case, we're going to talk about text message employment scams. Here's an example. A lot of times they come from an email. So you can see this text message came from an email. And a lot of times they'll impersonate recruitment firms. And the offer is always too good to be true. They're saying you can work for 30 or 60 minutes per day and earn $200. Okay. And a lot of times the text message will end with, reach out to us on WhatsApp. Right? There's that red flag. They're telling you, always be suspicious about, if they're a legit company with a real phone number, why are they telling you to call, WhatsApp? So be suspicious of that. Oh, hey, Dave. Awesome. Thank you, man. Thanks for the $5 super thanks. You're the best, man. Always appreciate that. Dave's always hooking me up over here with the $5 super thanks. So always appreciate it. And by the way, if you weren't here yet, Dave made me a theme song. So we got a theme song we're going to be playing. Hopefully by next week's live stream, I'll have figured out how to get that built into the whole live stream here. But I got a cool little AI generated theme song that we're going to play. So good stuff, man. Dave's the best. Always showing support and spreading the word and waving the Scamware 101 flag. Always appreciate it. Let's take a look at another example of these employment scam text message. This one says they're from Temu Services USA. It says your background and resume have been recommended by multiple online recruitment agencies. And same deal. They offers way too good to be true. Right? So that rule applies. If something's too good to be true, be suspicious. Whether it's a free product or a job offer here. It says you could earn up to $50 or $500 a day. Right? And of course, the text message ends with, reach out to us on WhatsApp. And we have another example here. These text message employment scams. And look, a lot of times they come from these strange email addresses like Hotmail. The strange Chinese sounding email address. Right? So we know there's a lot of Chinese criminal groups like behind this. They're not the only ones, but when it comes to the text messaging stuff, they're feels like they got it locked down over these Chinese groups. But anyway, this text message says TikTok Recruitment Center. They're hiring 3,000 TikTok backup talents. A minimum daily salary of $400. There you go. It says you can work 1 hour a day, make $400. So, and at the end, of course, call us on WhatsApp. So be suspicious of unsolicited text messages offering you jobs. I mean, scammers we know that they're sending tons of these out. Tons of these. And it can be tricky because I'm sure a lot of people are looking for work. So you get a text message like this and they might be thinking, oh, this might be in response to the places I upload my resume to, but look, nobody legit sending you text messages out of the blue offering you jobs like this. It's a scam. It sounds too good to be true. You can't trust it. And on a more serious note about this, we mentioned earlier about these people. Some of these scammers are in scam compounds. They were trafficked over there. They were tricked into entering these foreign countries, and they're being forced to scam people. Like they were literally trafficked, and they're being held there and forced to scam people all day. in places like Myanmar, right? It's happening. It's really dark, and it gets really bad what's going on in the underground criminal side of these scams. But a lot of times those people that were trafficked and tricked, they were tricked by employment scams. That's how they got tricked to go overseas. They thought they were going over there. They thought that they were accepted for a job. They fell for an employment scam. They flew overseas. Usually they'll say like Bangkok or whatever, and they fly over to Bangkok, and then they get trafficked. And they don't realize they're trafficked until it's too late. They'll fly over to Bangkok. They'll think that that's where their work's going to be. They meet up with whoever they're supposed to meet up with. They're like, all right, let's take you over to the office. Next thing you know, they cross the border, don't even realize it. They're in Myanmar where there's no government, and suddenly they're held hostage and forced to work scams. And by the time they realize it, it's too late. They just thought they were going to that job offer they got accepted for. So anyway, it's not just about falling for an employment scam where a lot of times they'll trick you into depositing money into an app. It's known as a task scam, right? They trick you into depositing money and performing tasks. Other times they trick you into purchasing equipment and sending it to them for onboarding. They'll say, hey, you've been accepted to this job, so go purchase a laptop or mail your laptop to us and we'll onboard it. But they just tricked you into sending them a laptop, right? You just purchase a laptop, sent it to them. So there's lots of different ways that these scams could go, but the worst way is tricking somebody into being human trafficked, right? So anyway, be aware of these employment scams. Make sure your friends and family are aware of these employment scams. If it's too good to be true, probably is. Make sure to verify anything that comes in like this, and be safe out there. And on that note, we're gonna wrap this live stream up. Went 3 hours today. It was pretty good. Pretty good. We had some new faces today. Barbara, it was great seeing you. Thank you for participating in the chat. Dave, pleasure as always, man. I can't thank you enough. $5 always helps. I appreciate it. And yeah. So that's it for this live stream, everybody. Thank you for attending. One last time, last chance. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Hit that heart. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. We need as many likes, follows, subscribers we could get. Join our free mailing list. Scamaware101.com. Hit join mailing list. We'll send you reminders when we're going live. I'll let you know when we put up new content. All right. And then while you're on the website, follow us on all your favorite social media. We got Facebook, Threads, Instagram, X, Blue Sky, YouTube. We have links to each right here on our homepage. And also our username is Scamaware101 across all of them. So, but if you can't find us, we have the links here right on the homepage for you. And that's all, folks. Thank you again for tuning in and helping us spread awareness about these scams. And we hope to see you next week, where I plan on making a big announcement next week. We're hoping to launch a few things next week, but we'll see. It might get delayed in a week or two. We'll see. But I'll keep you all posted. Appreciate all the support. And hey, until next time, everybody, stay safe. And now bear with me while I end all these live streams, because sometimes it takes a few minutes to get them all closed out. It's funny, as I go to close out the live streams, I start seeing all the viewer count spike on Facebook here. Everybody on Facebook, you joined too late. I started at 5:45 p.m. Eastern time, guys. But listen, make sure to follow. Make sure to follow. And make sure to join our free mailing list on scamaware101.com, and you'll get a reminder next time. You'll get a reminder an hour before we go live. And you'll also see us on Facebook, where we have the events all scheduled and posted. So, sorry guys, I'd love to go longer, but you missed out tonight. But hey, we still appreciate it. Give us a like, give us a follow. You can always tune into the live stream again if you want to watch the replay.